Listen, the only way this thing will be official is if the people choose it. So that means share the show. Woo-wee on a Monday night, live from the basement. Every day above ground is a good one. I am Kevin Barnes. I am the host of Outlaw Radio, the militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, a.k.a. the Negro Whisperer. Oh, man, I'm so happy to be here. I hate when I'm away from this microphone for, an extended duration. Welcome to Outlaw Radio, live from the basement on a Monday night, right? Share the show, share the show, share the show. It's very important that you share the show. It doesn't mean anything, like I said on the video, if the people don't choose it. Share the show. I'm not alone. I talk a lot of shit, but I got my partner with me. Mr. Carter, how you doing tonight, my brother?
Hey, man, I'm doing well. And I hope everybody else is too. Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevate thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. I'm on y'all, holistic health and wellness coach, Mr. Kamar Carter. Look, if you ain't been to the House of Vitality, you need to get your ass there. If you ain't had none of this tea, you need to get your ass some. I'm telling you, come on down and holler, y'all. We got something for everybody.
Absolutely. What we do on Outlaw Radio is we support black businesses. If you are tuning in for the first time, I want you to know, first and foremost, this is a voice for you. 414 stand up. There's a number attached to the show, 262-202-5131, 262-202-5131. And if you want to do some sort of promotion about, with your event or your business, if you're doing something positive, come on, man. This platform is for the 414, right? And we talk a lot of 414 business. So welcome aboard. Fonzarelli, what it do, man? Happy Monday.
I say to y'all, happy Monday, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy to see another Monday. And my plan, try to figure out what I could do in this week to make it to where I ain't got to punch in next week type shit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. The capo of the streets is in the building. I think he's trying to show us he in a hotel or something, like he living fly, like he living good. He free now. Shine more. Look, he free now. He all up in hotels and shit. What's poppin', Shine?
Show out.
Hey, man.
This nigga ain't got no warrants and shit no more. Now he all out in the hotels all over the city and
we
shit.
Gotta get Uzi. We gotta get Uzi.
Oh, man, damn.
What's poppin', bro? How you doing, man?
What it do? What's happening, Dr. Carter, Professor Real, and
peace.
Negro motherfucking Whisperer? It is what it is, man. I mean,
say it with your chest.
Monday, feeling good. Woke up this morning.
Yeah,
can't complain, man. Still fighting. You know what I mean? Still
Forever.
writing. Still reciting. Yeah, shit. I'm getting it in.
I see Dion in the chat room. He said, "Man, what the fuck it is, my guys?" But he's also saying, "Sean, I seen you on TV and heard you this morning." He is a celebrity, Mr. Moore over here, right?
Hey,
right.
Man, man, when a motherfucker get free, man, shit changes. You know what I mean? You try to elevate a little bit.
There you go.
Go on TV now.
Yeah, just a little bit of something, man. I know my haters out there. I know my haters out there. My haters out there. Tell Erica to hold that shit to her chest tonight. We not doing
you gonna call her name?
I'm starting it off already.
That's what you do.
That's what I do.
Hey man, listen. Welcome to Outlaw Radio. I want y'all to know, if you've been seeing more occurrences of like the ads and whatnot popping up, it's because of our sponsor, Eagle Eye Security LLC. Shout out to that brother. He's doing great things and helping me promote the platform. See, I'm not a promoter, right? I can talk shit. Like, I might be a salesman, but I'm not a promoter. So that's one area with marketing of the platform and whatnot that, and that's why I always say it's all about, when they say teamwork to make the dream work, that's not just a cliche, but that's a snapshot of what needs to happen in Black America at large, which is teamwork, making the dream work. right? And I'm saying that because I don't think people really understand the power of solidarity. I'm gonna leave that where it's at, but it's Outlaw Radio live from the basement. I'm glad all y'all here, man. Weekend, man. Weekend shit. Kamar, how was your weekend?
Man, my weekend was great and full. We started out, let's see. Well, you know, we always doing the House of Vitality thing on Saturdays, but I was also at the Fondy Market Saturday. You know, it was going down up there. And y'all, hey, listen, man, I'm gonna tell you, Fondy Markets. I like in the last few years, not just because I'm vending, I really grew really fond of these things, man. You know what I mean? Because you can go out here, man, get you some fresh vegetables. You know what I mean? That come out the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Fresh out the dirt, not the grocery store, but fresh out the dirt. And it's something different when you're getting vegetables and shit out of somebody's garden or somebody farm fresh. It's a big difference. And our people, we really need to start taking advantage of this type shit. You can even come down there and use your Quest. Ain't no excuse. You know what I mean? Ain't no excuse talking about healthy food is expensive. You getting Quest, you can use your Quest down there and you spend 20, they match you 20. How about that? So you know what I mean? The Friday market is where I started out. Then Sunday I was at a self-care event, right? Where they had a bunch of vendors out there and some speakers. It was live, it was downtown at the Wyndham, I think. Yeah, the Wyndham Hotel. It was dope, man. You know, a lot of the well-known vendors and makers, local makers, you know what I'm saying? Holistic makers was there. It was dope experience. I put up a couple videos, you know, go check them out in the reels or my page or something.
And that's what's up. And I can tell you this, a lesson learned very, very, very well by myself this summer was my family and I, we just kind of planted a little garden, nothing extravagant, not no big 2-acre plot, but just the definition of an urban garden in our backyard. And I'm telling you, we've yielded vegetables for now probably about 3 months straight, right?
I
Like
would say
greens,
yielded.
tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, onions, squash, all this, you know, like I said, my fat red tomatoes and
Man,
habaneros and banana peppers and bell peppers. So,
man.
and it kind of adds up when you think about, you know, my wife took the tomatoes and the onions and don't be trying to get y'all one like I got. She made
See
salsa
what I mean, real? You
out of
did
the
this shit,
fresh
real.
out of the
You did
fresh
it. He talking about
vegetables in the garden. She made salsa. That shit was
this
delicious.
motherfucker talking about what he yielded, real. You hear this
Yes,
shit?
sir.
You did this shit. This
Hey,
They
motherfucker
said
yield
talking
is
you
about,
reap. They
always
said
good.
you reap what you sow.
oh my
Hold on. They
God.
said you reap what you sow. I'm just showing that this is true. This is my testimony. You can't
It's
get up and
Yeah.
true.
undercut my
It's true.
testimony, y'all.
It's true.
How was your
Yep, it's
weekend
true.
with your old grouchy ass? Damn, you on a
Oh,
whole
my
day must
weekend.
be in a good mood or something.
I
Shit.
started off, man. Friday went like Friday. Saturday, I woke up, went to the community safety meeting. Um, there was a lot of people there. Some people I hadn't seen in a while. It was something different. They were talking about solutions, right? But like I told them in the meeting, talking about it is one thing. Implementing it is something else.
Okay.
Then from there, I walked down Hopkins to try to look at the scene of where Doom got killed and try to see how we're gonna recreate that so we can figure out who killed him.
Okay.
So yeah, I had a full weekend. Sunday,
Yeah. I
yeah,
hear that,
and
man. You know, as losses that hasn't stopped. If you're from the 414, you know that the murder,
yeah,
death, kill hasn't stopped. And I'm gonna talk about as we move along why we should be really taking notes right now because I said this last week, and I want you to understand that once again. I have to quote the great Fonzarelli when he say, "I add something to it before I take it back." Right? It's about to be time to vote. Right? It's about to be time to vote. And I'm standing on the principle of it's time for black people to think outside the box politically.
yes, sir.
Y'all better
Yes, sir.
understand that. Hear what I'm telling you. It's time for you to think outside the box because your conventional approach has not worked. Look at the state of our people, right?
Vote for
Need
Doom.
I say mo? Exhibit A, as they say in court, right? So we're talking now about really exercising what the only real power that we really have. And I know a lot of people may disagree with me, and you're fine to call in 262-202-5787. 5131, just in case you didn't hear me or you're, a little slow, a little impaired.
Make sure
It's
you let them know we
running
clap
across
back though.
it's run across the bottom of the screen. So check this out. What I'm saying is the only real true power that we have, especially locally, is to say, let's set the table, meaning let's take people who will represent us in rooms that we're not in and demand that they be built a certain way and demand that they be held accountable for what they do in office. It ain't automatic. This ain't no more name brand voting. We're gonna talk about all that, but I want to talk about my weekend. I want to talk about my weekend. Let me tell you about my weekend.
Because
Everybody
your
share
weekend
this
was kind
show.
of fucked up.
Yeah,
Yours started off kind of
everybody share
fucked
the
up,
show.
boss.
Everybody right now share this show. Let me
I
tell
don't
you
know how the
about
fuck I got pulled
my
into it.
motherfucking weekend, right?
Tell them about it. Tell them about it. Whisper. Don't you
Okay.
whisper either, motherfucker. They deserve to hear this shit.
Listen, so my son is a senior at Milwaukee Lutheran High School. Okay. And this is his senior year. He's an athlete. He plays football, he plays basketball. And so we just riding through this year. Now it's number one, the team is very bad. And my son he's truly realizing what it's like to be the only person at the job that's actually good what he does, but everybody else suck. And so that's a disappointment in itself, right? It's a whole lot of slapdickery going around as far as the team is.
I hope that ain't what it
But
is.
so it just so happens that this is the homecoming game on a Friday night. Friday night lights is what we call it. If you're a football player, if you know, you know. You don't, you don't. Stand on the track, which I'm access to. I don't sit in stands. Mr. Barnes, you can sit on the track because they know that's Kevin's father. Okay. So I'm on the track and I'm mad and I'm doing my thing because I'm coaching basically while I'm standing on the track. And the ass whooping that they're getting is stinging me. But all of a sudden I hear a faint sound. Pow. I said, me being from Capitol, right? Me just being from Capitol Drive saying, hey, that sounded like a gunshot. Right? I turn around. What does I see?
What?
A young DeBarge, a young LB Shore. This is all I'm going to say. Now, listen, the video and the pictures of these individuals are up in the People's News Network, which is our sister group. I don't have to say any particulars. I seen everybody. Shout out to y'all for sharing this shit because I know black people be on there. Ain't nobody snitching. Blah, blah, blah. No, this is some wild shit. So I locate him because I need to know which way the gunfire is coming from. And I see this little cat with his pistol out. He busts about 9, 10, 11 times. People go to screaming. People go to running, jumping fences. Since I'm looking at him and I'm from Capitol enough to know that if it ain't really pointed towards you, you don't have to panic. Just watch him. Just keep your eye on it.
Right.
So right? He runs out, people going crazy. It's pandemonium. The game's called. Whole homecoming weekend canceled. They still ain't went back to school. Might have a game this week canceled for this shit, right? Our shorties, y'all kids. Then y'all kids. Y'all kids.
My kids.
I ain't got no light-skinned kids. Hold on now. Let me catch my chat room. Jesse said, peace outlaws from the Mount High Income City, Frontline Black News and Shabaka's Black Experience enhance the revolutionary agenda. He said, FBA salute. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Foundational Black Americans.
My kids sell sea moss.
And my kids light skinned, but they were at their game. So it wasn't them.
Everybody needs to, everybody says, hold on, Kevin. I heard
disclaimer.
My kids. Okay, hold on. So Jesse says it takes teamwork to make the dream work. He agrees with my sentiment. Mama Jenkins, how you doing this evening, my sister?
Peace.
She says, good evening, my outlaw family. Let's make it do what it do. Ain't nothing like garden veggies. You're absolutely correct. The cucumbers tasted different.
Especially when you have such a large yield.
Man, I see you like the fact that I used the word yield. It made it sound slick though, didn't it?
It made it sound like
yielding for 3 months.
It makes it
give him a reason to say it, right? Give me
right.
And I love yield.
Always yield the yield that we took forth. We've been harvesting. We've been
Not the harvesting.
we finna make a salad. Somebody go outside and get a tomato out the garden, just like that, right? Jesse Parrish said, right, Kamar, grow your own food and go get food from the farmers markets as well. Mama Jenkins says, Sean, tell them about them greens. She capping on her.
Hey, man, listen, man. I'm gonna tell you something. Listen, I almost cussed. My bad, mama. But
you did.
Them is the type of greens that you take a fork and you put them in your mouth and you look around for somebody to slap the fuck out of.
Okay. So you better not never eat at my house then.
It make you just want to slap the shit out of somebody.
Damn, that's shit right there.
Yeah.
That's cooked with shortening. That ain't no vegetable oil. That's like, lard.
I wish a motherfucker would look at my plate.
Shout out to Shabaka saying Corey he said greetings from Sin City. How you doing? My brother's back to what I was saying. Okay, so I'm at this game and on a whole bunch of levels, this is a very kind of weird thing because first of all, this is a private school. This is two private schools playing each other in Wauwatosa.
Yeah.
Right. And there's little kids running around unsupervised. There's old people who are alumni. The most important thing is there's people there to support young people who are doing the right thing.
Yes.
Whether they're a cheerleader, whether they are a trainer, pep squad, whatever, band. These are kids who said, nah, we ain't going out and getting mollied up and snatching no kill. We got a little football game, right? So when I think about the fact and the news, what they did was they labeled this an active shooter, right? Now, how many of y'all can say you've been somewhere where there was actually an active shooter? Like I had to go back through my mind. Like I really stood there and just looked at this dude. I just said, ain't this a bitch?
That Capitol Drive shit.
This motherfucker. My son is losing it. He don't want it. If you watch even the footage I put in the People's News Network, they can't get my son. The kids hit it. Kids running. They can't get him to go in.
That was your son still on the field when everybody
the last one.
Yeah,
they was trying to get him, and he's like, no.
Yeah, he's like, no, we still playing.
No, he like my pops be standing down there.
I thought
where that shit came from.
Trying to play.
And he like, what? Moms and pops was standing down there, like, what the fuck? So I had to, hey, you good, bro? But let's go, cleats and all, helmet, mouthpiece, everything. Let's go. But he had to go, So now today they put up these pictures of these young people. They put them. People are sharing them all over social media. News 58 was the first one that I saw. And so I want to know, because we've had this discussion on this show about what should we do about these badass fucking kids, right? And if I come off a little aggressive, it's because I just survived an incident with an active shooter.
Survived a shootout and shit.
With an active shooter, right? Nobody else had a gun except this little sumbitch, right? And so when they catch him, even though nobody was hurt, what should be done to him? Tell me, y'all start telling me he need counseling and he needs somebody to be a mentor and all that. Y'all start telling me about this shit. Because my solution is
you need to go to fucking jail and think about it.
There you go. Like that one. Gold star for Kamar.
It's simple. It's simple. This shit ain't brain surgery.
If you think about the fact that the direction in which he shot, actually, the guest stands were not. I mean, they're like right here, and he shot from over here. So if he turns that pistol just a little bit, and it was full, there was a lot of supporters from Pius there. Because one thing I've learned about these schools where we think we sending our kids to better schools, parents come out and support. So team 0-30 for shit. My baby out there playing. I'm at the game. So if those bullets had struck some parent or some little kid, God forbid, those little 10-year-old boys is just, which should happen at every football game. There's got to be little dudes on the sideline somewhere throwing a ball to each other, emulating what they seeing on the field. That's how your love start. You feel me? Like I ain't sitting in the stands with my mom and them, me and my brother over here playing just like them. So I feel like right now, this prison, this youth prison, is a necessity, and anybody can get mad at me if they want to. I wouldn't give a shit. It's now a necessity because these kids, they won't learn a lesson until it's too late. You know, because a bigger issue is, I can tell you that once MPD came, I ain't talking about Wauwatosa police. I'm talking about Milwaukee police. They was toting heavy AR-15, and I'm an AR-15 guy, so I know the furniture. They had murder, death, kill on their shoulders. Like, oh, it's a shooting. Now, God forbid, because they had been there and left. I'm so glad that they weren't there when it happened, because guess what would have transpired? They would have killed him.
Some kids, yeah. And then people be
It would have
being
been a
upwards about why
15.
you kill my
It would
baby.
have been a dead teenager laying over there, and there would have been about 500 people that were there to witness his murder. Now,
we want justice. We want justice.
That's what I'm saying. Are we now? Then we coming out saying, "Oh, we gonna march against that cop"? I'm trying to. I want to know. For all the crusaders that want to make excuses for habitual line steppers. And that's what this kid is, a habitual. He ain't got no daddy. He ain't never. His ass will learn. Go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry.
He wasn't stepping on the line, man. You know, he jumped over that motherfucker.
Okay.
You know, those are the instances where even I take a step back and say, you know what, dude, ain't nothing I can do for you. You know what I mean? You have crossed that line to where you could have killed somebody, right? Prosecution needs to be taken, man. You know what I mean? He needs to be prosecuted. The thing is,
and hold on.
Are the police gonna?
A message to our district attorney: don't you dare, because he's gonna be apprehended. Listen, one thing little dudes, little buddies need to know is there is a camera everywhere.
Everywhere.
They have.
Everywhere.
They put your picture today. They put your picture on social media, bruh. Right? And all they got to do is say $5,000. Any information.
They gotta say that.
See,
they got
motherfuckers on the phone right now, like this nigga here playing PlayStation right now.
Yeah, they snitch right quick.
Right. I'm gonna roll one more so he'll still be here when y'all get here. Y'all gonna bring that in cash, or y'all gonna cash at me? Come on, man. I mean, the pressure of the individuals that were with him, once they say, oh, they got my ass too. See, I don't know if they went into the building to go to the bathroom or whatever, but there's also cameras all over the outside. Look up, bro. Look up, little bro. You don't see them cameras on the side of that building? It's so when they capture them, don't you put no bracelet on him and say, well, until you go to court. No. Put his ass in the camera.
Unfortunately, due to the lack of what's a good word? Fuck it. The lack of them giving a fuck. I don't think it's going what we want to see happen, what should happen. I don't think that's going to happen unless those parents at Pius speak out.
Well, I don't even know. He's not allegedly, this individual's not from ML, but okay, so here's the thing. He or she, whatever this is, may be a juvenile. They may be a juvenile. So I don't but see, one thing about me is I ain't caring about the daddy. I ain't caring. This is daddy for his mama. It ain't no, I didn't see nobody standing next to him. He was all by himself.
Okay.
So I wouldn't blame. I ain't blaming your mama. I don't care if she's a crackhead. I don't care if you ain't never met your daddy. I'm blaming you, son, because you are the one who committed this super treacherous act that you don't really realize. You don't even really realize the ramifications. I think these individuals thought that, okay, we're going to get away, because they did get away. You know, Milwaukee people are very savvy. Motherfucker just shot. You see somebody running, you get out the way. Motherfucker probably ran right past you. It's John Wilkes Booth type shit. I didn't know he just killed the president. God damn, that nigga fast. Jesse said he says he's yielding right now, Sean, for your information.
Oh, hell, here we go.
He said he has greens, tomatoes, cabbage, cantaloupe, melons, cucumbers.
I can read, bro.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
my
I can
bad.
read.
I was trying to help you. I was trying to help you. I was trying to help you. Shabaka said he gonna call in, holler at Shabaka. Shabaka goes 1,000,000 miles per
Get
hour
there,
when he
your
on this
mama.
show. Mama Jenkins said, I keep telling y'all about these badass little bastards. Put their asses in jail. They need to learn lesson. How you doing, Miss my sister Sharon Evans? How you doing? She said, what's going on? I'm just talking about my weekend of standing on the track during my son's homecoming game and seeing this little youngster, just up and just start shooting. I'm thinking that when he pulled it out, the kids must have scattered because when he was shooting, once I located him, I immediately looked at what he was shooting at. There was nobody there. Was nobody. What I seen kids scattering. So I'm thinking when he pulled it, they probably ran and then he started shooting. But nevertheless, for any
Probably
individual
was
to
just
pull out a
showing
firearm
out.
and just start shooting at a
So
place so public,
He probably was just showing out.
yeah, not understanding what
so
he was
You
doing.
know what I mean? Doing some dumb little nigga shit.
Right. Well, I hope they got
the,
special ed classes at Waupun.
they the shooting at Carver Park this weekend, right?
Another one.
That was an innocent kid. He didn't have anything to do with it. And if I'm not mistaken, his mother works in trauma informed care. Um, they don't have no suspects to that. Uh,
Didn't the little
our
10-year-old's mother work in trauma informed care? She worked in social
yeah,
services in some
man,
capacity.
they worked around all this trauma informed care, and I hate to say it, but this trauma informed care shit ain't working, man. It ain't working.
Well, I
Nothing that
think
they
I don't think
trying
it's
right now is
Sean.
working, KB.
I don't think it's what you do. I think it's how you do it. Because if
Well,
implemented
they not doing it
correctly,
right.
if implemented correctly and given its own real lane to flourish, in addition to
Okay,
some other things, it could be
okay,
effective. But it can't be the end all be all, right? It can't be that as this the sole thing we focusing on.
right,
And I think
right.
we get bamboozled into thinking that we can only focus at one issue at a time when we should be saying spread the money out equally and let's fuck with all the issues, right? And so
That's
that's
the only
another
way it's
point of
gonna work.
confusion for us. So I don't know.
We keep
I know you
losing.
don't like trauma informed care. I'm just saying it.
I just think that I believe that trauma informed, like you said, it has its own lane, but that doesn't mean that trauma informed care takes over all 6 lanes of the freeway, bro. You know what I mean?
no
There's
doubt.
other lanes, and we focus so much on trauma informed care that we've left off the reduction, the intervention, the prevention of violence, so that we can deal
Well,
with the
hold on.
trauma
So I guess even with that, I would say pause because you said we, and I would say there's
as a
really no
city, as a city,
collective.
as a city.
There's You said we. You said we, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We
So
as a
so I'm
city, yeah.
saying, so in our city, I can say there's really no pronounced agenda in how we doing shit because they fired Anita Holloman,
It's not
and then they just said that they're gonna restructure the whole thing. So right now it ain't nothing. It ain't no focus on it's a catchphrase, but nobody's actually you have to find smaller organizations in the city that's trying to ride that wave. But I can't say, oh no, that's what they're doing, because they're not, because it's still really it's still
even
just
them,
catch and
KB.
release. It's still catch and release. It's still catch them until once they chipping at it, keep letting them go. And then when you catch many a big fish, you keep them. It's that kind of thing. It's catch and release. Catch and release. You eat ticket, go to court, make some money on your back, and then we got your ass. Murder, homicide. You come on, go and sit down. Give your ass a football number. Mama Jenkins says, and find out where that damn gun came from because it could have been used in another criminal act. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. And it's a whole like this. There's a lot of individuals sour in this buttermilk, right? Like it's that kid though. I realize he may come from some of the nastiest shit you've ever seen, but that doesn't give you a right to put me and my family in danger when we ain't done shit to
Right.
you, right? Like no malice at all. Um, yes, Jesse Parrish, we do have a shot spotter. Do have a shot spotter, and believe me, you keep their
They
ass
don't mean
running.
nothing.
Keep them running.
Yeah,
Sharon Evans said they needed trauma whooping to the backside. where they got to pick their own switch. That good trauma. Then the ass whooping. I'm finna get my ass broke off.
You
Mama
know,
Jenkins said,
man.
has anyone else heard anything else about that detention center for that crime keepers from Lad Lake? I haven't heard anything. As a matter of fact, what's funny is at one point I was pretty sure they were moving forward with this prison. I mean, I know people were hawking and chirping against it, but my understanding was nice in the works. I haven't even heard Lil Chevy even say anything about it. I haven't heard
Who said
any. I
Lil
haven't heard
Chevy?
him say anything. I ain't heard him say even in his budget. Like I ain't heard Lil Dog say none. Lil Buddy been quiet on it.
Are
That's
you
that's
so
Lil Buddy,
stupid,
man.
dog?
That's
You
Lil
so
Buddy,
fucking
man.
stupid.
What up, Lil Dog?
You so
How you
fucking
Hey,
doing,
little
man?
stupid.
man. Say, little man, come
What
here.
up, Lil Dog?
Y'all, and I can laugh because shit, I got him by like 3-4 inches.
Right,
So yeah, he'll go do it.
micro. Right. What up, Lil
No,
Dog?
bro,
Leprechaun.
Hey,
bro.
Sean, I wasn't even thinking about you when I was
Right.
saying
You know,
that,
I told y'all, man. Sean got in my car. He was
man.
swinging his
Don't
feet.
nobody know you short, but the people who know you.
No,
You know what I
Sean
mean?
got
If
in my
they
back
watch this
seat.
show, they don't know you short.
He got my back seat and his feet was swinging like this. He was so happy to be in the car. He was like, "Hey, you got my hoodie." I said, "He kicking his feet."
So when I bust your window, be happy about that, fucker.
Listen, if you can get up on something and throw that rock high enough, Sean, more power to you, man. It
Man,
shows
I
that
will
you can
jump
do
up on that
anything if you put your
motherfucker and throw that motherfucker down with 2 hands and make sure I shatter that whole fucking back
I'm
window.
gonna come through on a bike like paperboy. There you go. Nah, you know, once again, I keep saying that was a beautiful thing the mayor did when he talked about in the budget, in his speech about how fiscally they've set Milwaukee on a path where it's going to be empowered for years to come, and more revenue sharing from the state than there's ever been, and millions of city workers are getting a raise, not millions, but city workers are getting a raise, and people are going to be feeling better about living in Milwaukee. I didn't hear him say shit about the justice system. I didn't hear him say anything about economics. And people say, well, Kev, he didn't have all that time. Well, you're doing a budget speech. And so that means if there was anything allocated to said services, it would have been mentioned. Y'all hit me up and tell me if I'm right or wrong. 262-202-5131. It's Outlaw Radio. I'm on my bullshit. Right. I got everybody with me. So we'll get it in tonight. But so yeah, I'm looking at, my son now. For me, I'm that pops too, where it's just homecoming, bro. It hurt right now. But in the grand scheme of things, I ain't Easter.
Yeah,
no, right, but I'm just saying, like, because you skipped it last year, you didn't even want to go. But I get the whole when you rob kids like COVID. Our daughter is still pissed to this day that she didn't get to walk across the stage because of COVID. If you bring it up, she'll get salty with your ass. Like, that shit ain't funny. Like, she literally done snapped on me and her brother for making jokes about this before. Like, that shit ain't funny. Right? So, but no, so I'm just saying, I get that, but we have a serious problem with our kids, and I'm not telling y'all nothing y'all don't know. But once again, I'm challenging Black people. I am challenging you for this next election cycle to, as a voter, think outside the box. First of all, become a voter if you can, if you still have that privilege. And I'm really talking local politics more heavily than anything else, because I feel like our straightening needs to come from, like, we really need a strong foundation. When our first elected Black mayor, who Black people overwhelmingly voted for, obviously, his first stop to announce his campaign is a Hmong restaurant. Do you know how many Black businesses that we have in this city that could have benefited from him doing that? I mean, where the Clippers boys at? The G's and everybody got a restaurant. Hell, shout out to my cousin Angela Mallett. She got 2 stores. That's on Martin Luther King. That's on Martin Luther King. That's proof in the pudding that, hey, and there's more Black entrepreneurs. Well, people say, well, Kev, what that got to do with it? Because there should have been money that allocated to them too from this budget. Now, I
Could
don't know
could
if
it?
this budget, I don't know if this budget actually includes the community development block grant money. But I do know it's a whole bunch of people sitting on some COVID money. Office of Violence and Prevention, 12 mil you sitting on. Owing motherfuckers, and you sitting on 12. I'd be pissed if I was one of your contractors. Go ahead, Rel. I cut you off, brother.
Oh no, that was I thought you was finishing. I accidentally cut you off, so I apologize, man. But what I was gonna say is like with the like not even from a black perspective, but from like a chess player type perspective or strategist, could it be that like the Hmong folk homogenized, man? Like they actually on one accord to where they can establish shit and put shit together, just like the Spanish community. They're they are able to act in a way that actually is impactful. So could it be like a chess move to fuck with people who actually are on one accord and can move as one
No,
to some shit like
no.
that?
It's
No.
about campaign fundraising, is what it's about. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a thriving community, and you're right when you say Latinos, Asians. I mean, even the Arabs, the interlopers.
Everybody but
Everybody
us
has what you call
solidified.
solidarity.
Yeah.
Everybody has what you call solidarity, except for us. The monks have empowered themselves, and
Right.
people can say, you know, well, you got to do it the right way. They've moved in, they've purchased properties, they've purchased homes, they've gotten resources together. This Hmong American Peace Academy up here on the old Morris Middle School is an incredible facility. They done flipped it, put a soccer field out there and everything, and it's locked down to the neighborhood. Not a damn nigga gonna ever step on that field, right?
I'm
It
going
is
up there
for
tomorrow.
Hmongs. It's for
I'm
Hmongs.
going up there
Now
tomorrow.
we don't have this shit. Latinos have so much. They have their own network of moving. We don't even know what they're doing. We don't even know what they're doing. We know what we're doing. Once again, this is about hoping
Nothing.
that a couple of these Hmong, because what they have is what you call Hmong civic leaders. Somebody got a seat at the table to go sit with the Jews,
Mm-hmm.
the representative from the Arabs. Believe me, they have a table with people, the
Right.
power brokers from each community to say, hey, here's your bone, here's your bone, here's your bone. You know
Do
who ain't
this
getting
for
no
us,
bone?
and I have my whole back and the people that can move for you type shit.
If need be.
We
But guess what? You looking at it now, our contribution, because what do we starve for as a city? Tax revenue. You are owning homes, you're opening businesses. That's tax revenue. So when we talk about we in debt, y'all, it's kind of like you like kind of pointing your thumb back at the black people, like because of these motherfuckers, right? Because if the Jews get money and the Asians get money and the Arabs get money off us, right? And the Hmongs get money and the Latinos get money, we still the 40% of the 40% lives below the poverty line, if you know what I mean. Right? So welcome to Outlaw Radio, man. We talk this kind of shit. I know a lot of people, yeah, yo, fuck politics. No, fuck you. I'm sorry. Fuck you. I gotta start saying that. Every time somebody can't fuck politics. No, fuck you. Okay. Um the opinions expressed on Outlaw Radio are solely those of the motherfucker that said it. Please know who to be
You
mad
said
at.
it.
Right. There you go. Mama Jenkins said, y'all funny as hell. Nothing about economics or cleaning up this raggedy ass city. It's filthy and polluted. People getting put out of apartment buildings because the apartment complexes are built on toxic land. Under your watch, brother. We got record numbers of young people being murdered. When we ask you about your plan, you give us a long speech about how you're in the process of reorganizing something that was already set up and supposed to be funded
Bro.
to prevent this kind of shit. You're not
Bro.
answering the question. You
Bro.
telling me what you plan on doing. Okay?
Bro.
Am I
I
giving
was
too
at
much
the
time?
meeting.
Stop me.
I was
Go
at the
ahead.
meeting Saturday, man. You know, these
Okay,
are
tell
all
us about it.
people. You know, OVP was there, police were there, other organizations were there, man. And I listened. I really did. I was polite. I wasn't rude whatsoever, bro. I promised I wasn't, right? Because I wanted to hear this shit. And there's no plan. I'm sorry. There's no plan. When
Really?
when when I when I when I asked about a plan, I didn't get any relevant answers. I got somebody telling me, well, I take my kids out and we clean up and we give back like that. Well, that's not a plan either, right? You just keep them active for a couple hours a week. There is no plan to deal with this violence. There's none. I'm sorry. There's
Absolutely.
none.
You're right.
If you
And
if
that's
there's
not the only
anybody,
thing. That's not the only thing it ain't no plan for, Sean. It ain't no plan for nothing. Except for a goddamn
yeah,
tax hike. That shit's planned out very well.
so so if there's anybody listening to us, man, fooling themselves, like, oh well, he's gonna get it right, they're gonna work it out. I'm here to tell you,
Well,
right?
I'm glad you said that.
That's fucking
I'm glad you
fictional. That's
said
a
that.
facade.
I'm glad you said that. Because that's Sean,
Do I win
you
a
a
gift?
poet and you didn't even know it because you just gave me the perfect segue. Check this out. Let me get the chat room. Jesse said people need to focus more on local and state politics. That's what affects you day to day. Mama Jenkins says he gave his acceptance speech at Potawatomi. The English, she said, the Indians made more money. Hold on, let me get my phone. The Indians made more money, and it was few blacks there. Tiasha Arthur said, "Good evening, Kev, Rail,
Peace,
Kamar,
peace.
Sean, and the Outlaw family. How you doing, my sister?"
What it do?
Let
What
me
it
see.
do?
Jesse
Hey, Miss
Perry said,
Usher.
"Vote for something tangible, not symbolism." He
Me.
said, "Yep, it's about campaign financing, diplomatic liaison." He said, "You might not be into politics, but politics is deep into you." Absolutely. Shout out
Yes,
to
sir.
Michael Martina. He said it's time for Black re-education camps. Welcome to the show, my brother or
Peace,
sister.
peace.
All right.
Man,
Please share the show. Y'all share the show. Let's make it do what it do. EP, he said, "Love my brother, keep it real, famo." Yes, sir. Eric Phillips, man, that's my partner. That's my brother. That's knee high to a flea. I've known that man since I was a jit, as they say. Caller, you are live on Outlaw Radio. What's your name? Where you calling from?
man, this is Ian Jordan, man. This is the thing, Big Kev. This is why people need to listen to you. You brothers are doing an excellent job, by the way. What y'all talking about Milwaukee? These motherfuckers was calling me a sellout for saying this shit 10 years ago. They don't have no plans. They have no understanding of economics. They are not encouraging the new businesses. That's why me and my sister, that's why we in Arizona right now. That's why we're doing what we're doing somewhere else, because they want to have all these tax hikes. They want to have all of these empty promises to the hardworking people of Milwaukee, lying to them every election cycle. And remember, Chevy Johnson, this brother is the same guy that when they asked him about what he was doing when he ran, and I did a podcast on it, when he was running, he said, "Well, I've been focusing on running for my election. But you know what? We're gonna address the violence issue in Milwaukee." I was thinking in my mind, nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? Milwaukee is one of the most dangerous places in the world. It's so
Hold
many
on, hold on,
good
hold on,
things
hold on,
in
Ian.
Milwaukee. It's so many people. Oh, I'm sorry, man. My fault, bro. I'll be talking.
No, that was entirely my fault. Go ahead, my brother. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Just one other point, man, because and this is the thing, like, it's people like you, it's people like your panel, it's so many black businesses or whatever. And just like I heard what y'all were saying about the Mungs or whatever, I get that and I understand that. And Kevin, you made such a good point, brother. You said it. Like, why is he doing that? Because they look at us like we ain't shit. You go ahead and you look at racist ass Joe Biden. Same shit when he went on there with Charlemagne and all them on a Breakfast Club or whatever, when he get interviewed, "Oh, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black." People talking about, "Oh, that wasn't a big deal. You took it out of context."
Right.
Nigga, I ain't take shit out of context. They don't respect us. They don't respect our position. They don't respect any type of footing that we have. The power is in business and economics. And then when you doing that and you have a seat at that proverbial table, that's when you can win. Think about Malcolm X, man. Think about Malcolm X. When he got to the point where he started saying, "You know what? These brothers are all religious people or whatever. If we talk about religion, we'll be up here all day." They all started getting involved in politics, and then they killed him. And that's the truth of the matter, man. You're right. You are on point. You've been on point forever, as long as I've been listening, man. I just wanted to call and chime in, man, because this is some of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about with our media company, with newsundone.com, dog. Because, and by the way, Kevin, I'm gonna have to harass you, man. I need you to write a couple articles, bro. You got to write a couple articles, man. You gonna write an article or two, man, and you gonna let me publish it, man. You gonna put it out there?
At this point, I
hope
ain't
it ain't
turning
about
nothing down
King.
but my collar. I hold on, Sean. Don't.
Oh, my
Sean,
bad.
of course, Sean
My
gonna be the first one to
bad,
say
bro.
something.
I don't know.
Right.
Damn,
right.
I don't even know where that came from. Damn, my bad.
Had to give it to you again. No, listen, we can talk, man. I ain't turning down nothing but my collar. I think there's something to be said. But
the invite is for everybody, though, sir. I meant to say that. I'm sorry about that. That's for all y'all on the show, whoever's out there, anyone can write, man. Because I just don't want no right wing publication. We need different mindset. We need more independence.
Well, you talking
like
about
myself.
something like an op-ed piece. So I'm open to that.
Absolutely, brother. Do that, because it's like I noticed, especially dealing with as far as other side. Like, for instance, when I was going to all these events and stuff in Milwaukee, first and foremost, people always try to say that black people dumb because black people vote Democrats. But if you look on the other side, you look on the Republican side, you don't see no niggas there, period. And people get mad when I say that. I'm like, well, I believe that people might not tell you how they feel, but they will always show you. Oh, go ahead, man.
No, because we were fortunate enough to come to make a very important point. One night on the show when our white troll, Scott Epicet, he was in the chat room. And Scott's been a troll, an Outlaw Radio troll for about 8-9 years. Believe me, y'all, Scott been trolling me since I was on Blog Talk Radio, right? Like, this is so but no, he was, smart ass white people think that their ultimate recourse is to say, well, it's your fault because 90% of the African Americans vote Democrat. And I said, well, goddamn it, here in Milwaukee, only 10% of the African Americans vote. That's not a whole lot of votes for Democrats. And that's definitely not 90% of our people. That's what you call a skewed statistic. So I'll tell you what a lot of people do. A lot of black people do this instead of voting Republican. They just don't vote. They just don't vote. They say, I ain't vote for neither one of them motherfuckers. That's why most of us don't give a shit. That's why we run into brothers who say, man, I don't care about this shit, Cam. There's some people who done turned the show off tonight because we talking about that instead of talking about Beyonce and Lil Thug or Young Thug or Lil whoever. That's cool. That's cool. No, Marcus Garvey said everybody ain't gonna be able to go, so everybody can't get on the bus. Some of y'all wasn't shit in America, so you gonna be shit in Africa. Right. So no. Now let me catch my chat room. Glad to have this brother Ian on with us, Ian C. Jordan.
Thank you.
And because I wanted to ask you some questions. So Tiarsha said they need to start doing background checks on people moving here from other states, meaning if they was violent in that state, then they can't move here. Damn, that would be a long ass line at the state line. It'd take you 3 days to get in this goddamn state.
Around this motherfucker. Somebody go
like the border.
Somebody go talk about DACA.
Y'all crazy, bro. That's
build a wall.
Talk about DACA and we violate DACA. Don't
even talk about the build the wall. The man Trump. He's an interesting one too.
She said they had a brainstorming also on sex trafficking Saturday. That was more than informing the community of what's next. More important than informing the community is what's next. She said he waved his plan in the air on a piece of paper. Hold on, Sean. Just let me catch the chat room up. Said he waves his plan in the air on a piece of paper, but nothing has come off that paper yet. Jesse Perry said exactly. They don't respect us. He said facts to you, Ian. Okay, let me catch this up, and then we're gonna be on track. Let me make sure everybody gets represented. That's why I encourage people to either call in or hit the chat room so you can really be a part of the show. It's an immersive experience, if you will. It's foundational Black American shit. You got to look it up. He said we've been programmed and conditioned to vote for the Democrats or Democrats, as I call them. And LBJ said he would have niggas voting Democrat for the next 200 years. All facts. If you don't know how big of a bigot LBJ actually was, don't be fooled by the smoke and mirrors. Didn't we do a show called Smoke and Mirrors? I could have swore we did a show.
Preach.
My memory ain't what it used to be, but I could have.
He also said if we can get the lowliest white man to think he better than the greatest colored man, he won't notice a stick in his pocket.
Okay, I wouldn't put nothing past it.
So he was just about the green. He wasn't about white or black.
You talking about an OG Texas white boy from the this is motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Man, your ass is colored.
Neon neutral.
Right. Michael Martinez basically the American Negro is infiltrating politics, which is a European system of reality in the first place, something we can't escape.
Mm-hmm.
I agree in the structure of it. I know it's archaic. I know it's not meant for us to succeed. I totally understand that. But I think by the way you overcome the odds is by doing something that you're not supposed to do. That's what a glitch in the matrix is. So the fact that we know that this system is not really for us, it is the old people say, it will behoove us to become more familiar with how it works so we can counter it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not out here. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. We are the party poopers on Outlaw Radio. We poop on both parties for their egregious behavior and treatment of my people. So no, I'm just saying we got to get involved in the process and put our own people there if we expect anything different. He said, R.I.P. Marcus Messiah Garvey. BT in the building. He said, love fam, get to the bottom of it. How you doing, man? How you doing, BT? Now, Sean, you was trying to jump in. I was getting my chat room. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, because we,
you woke,
we
Sean?
talking about the sex trafficking thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm woke, man. What you mean? Don't you hear me?
No, you was looking like, you was delayed. I'm like, is he okay?
Yeah. You brought up sex trafficking and well, Mama did. They had a brainstorming on sex trafficking. I need some clarification. Were they talking about how to sex traffic, how not to sex traffic? I mean, what was the brainstorming about? Shit. Because maybe I should have been here instead of wasting my time at the other meeting.
Well, I mean, at this point, I don't see anything that they could tell you about that you wouldn't see on YouTube or like if you like Google the shit, right? Like I don't know if people left there like I didn't know.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Right.
Yeah, so
instead of once
got
again
a brainstorm on pimping and horn.
Right, just showing pictures of this is a pimp,
bro.
He controls ladies of the evening, right? Like I don't know. This was a PowerPoint.
Can I ask Ian something?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
Ian
go ahead.
Is on here. Op-eds, right? So I got an idea for an op-ed, and it revolves around how these stores and gas stations, liquor stores, whatever, by these Sings and Middle Easterns, and because I can't just call them Arabs now. They said that that's racist. So Punjabs, Middle Easterns, all of them motherfuckers, right? How they have basically come in and set up. Well, they haven't set up. They have been given our community, and they're the new authority, right? I think, we need to focus on that, man, because after the hearing Thursday, where they lost their license, the next day somebody was murdered at the liquor store right down the street. And it seems like every week, man, something is happening at these stores. And like I told the police Saturday, their interest is in protecting the store and not the people that are being harmed, fucked over, or killed in these stores, man. So I think I want to write an op-ed about that.
Now, was that a question or a promotion?
Kind of both,
I didn't hear the question. Huh? Okay, I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, he need to write about that.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I needed was just
I'm like, damn, I know I can't hear as well as I used to. Was that a question? I was like, damn, I didn't hear that.
No, he absolutely right, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm trying to change the company, because my business partner perished for culprits. He died. So my whole goal when we started the company was I'm going to be more. I lean to the right. I'm almost 50 years old. I just lean that way. I'm more of a fiscal conservative. I don't give a fuck what you do in your private life. Don't fuck with these kids. That's my mentality. Right. But we don't have enough people that write that are just straight up independents, because all the people that write for News Undone, they like Republicans, and they get so mad at me because, Kev, you see some of my posts. I be bashing Trump. I tell people exactly how the fuck it is. I'm like, this is the positive things about him. These are the negative things. Like even with Joe Biden, I'm like, these are the positive things. These are the negative things. Yes, they have increased some jobs. They've done some of the things that they've been talking about in regard to Bidenomics, all of that stuff. It does on paper look like it's doing well. But when you have income not raising and you have inflation raising, then you're not going to do anything. Like right now, we've never seen more people move in with other people. People are becoming roommates. We ain't never really seen that like that. Cars are damn near unaffordable. People are not buying properties. Those are the things that quote unquote make America run and make America go. So that's where we are. He's a horrible president. I don't care. I'm not knocking nobody that voted for him. I completely understand it because I wouldn't have wanted to vote for Trump either. He looked like a fucking idiot half the time. He says dumb shit and look at the shit he's involved. He's not innocent. We can talk about that on another. That's a whole nother thing.
Well,
I don't want to just absorb the time with that shit.
I just think it's. I think it's very unique that a brother who leans towards the right, because when we meet brothers who lean towards the right, they don't usually talk like that. They usually they've had a very, very deep swig of the Kool-Aid, and so what you get is a bunch of regurgitated bullshit. Now, shout out to young Joseph Cannon, man. This little young brother, I like to big up the young people. Young brother goes the king. As an athlete, football player.
Of course.
Watch Joseph grow up over the years. He played Pee Wee League with my son. Shout out to you, Joseph, man. I see you getting your issue over there. Congratulations, man. And I know what I was talking about the badass little kid who shot up my son's homecoming game, but I have to flip it and give it to a young brother who's really seeing the flip side of that. So shout out to you, Joseph. Man, tell your mom I said what's up.
Shout out to you, homie.
Yeah, man. Good family. Always kept his head on straight. So I had to acknowledge him. BT said, set up your own store. No excuses, ninjas. Yes, the hotspot is still open.
That motherfucker still open. I want that motherfucker gone.
Shout out to Shaquila Morrison. How you doing? How you doing, my sister? How you doing, Shaquila? It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Sharon Evans said, is it newsundone.com? Is that your site?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, that's our site. I wanted to say one thing though in regard because somebody made a comment that said open up your own store. He is or she, I don't know if it was a he or she. That person is absolutely right. But remember, and Kev, I know you remember this. When we were younger, when people were coming to this country, they didn't have to pay taxes for, I believe, 7 years. So they automatically had an advantage. I'm not making excuses. Yeah. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Just to be fair, that's partly part of it. So I'm sorry. I just wanted to add that.
No, it's all good. And once again, I do believe that one of the main things we talk about here is economic development, and that includes buying up businesses, starting businesses in the community, us doing commerce with each other. That's a never-ending theme on Outlaw Radio. If we're gonna live in this country, you better understand if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. I wouldn't give a shit. You could be, you got to have some bread in America. If not, you go down to Mexico and deal in rubles or go deal with pesos or some shit.
Pesos,
you got to get that dollar. Something like that. I don't know. I've never been there. Byron said, I'm so proud and glad you jiggas are still here. Now do something. Buy a house, open a business, volunteer at your local school. Niggas, please, he said. Jesse said that's the mentality. He said that's the mentality we should have, caller. And I am independent and have been since 2012, 2013. To hell with Sleepy Joe Biden. He said I've been set back and embarrassed with what happened at Milwaukee Lutheran. I was there. Imagine how set back I am. Joseph says, thank you, coach. And I'll tell my mom you said, what's up? Yeah, man. Good people, man. Oh, and she don't play about her baby either. She be on Facebook like, don't play. Joseph runs track too, man. He's a good little dude, man. Nah, man. No, because like I said, he played ball with my son, man. So he was always a good kid, man. You look around.
Hold on, your son played football, right?
Football and basketball. Yeah.
Dude, my boy, man, like my brother from another mother, Carlos Rattler, he the head coach over there at Washington. I got an interview dude this week or next week, man. He been blowing me up. That's my fam, bro.
I used to coach football at Washington.
Man, you ain't got time to coach no more, do you?
Well, I'm about to have it. My son is about to be done with school, so my wife told me you ain't coaching nothing. So I guess I won't be because I said I'm thinking about
There
going
you
back to
go.
coaching.
You
She
got.
said, no, you
No, you're
ain't.
not.
Oh,
No,
okay.
you're
So
not.
I guess I'm not.
I ain't mad. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you, brother. You got to listen.
Byron said Wisconsin Lutheran is next, and the others know this. He's agreeing with you. Said practice group economics. Okay, so this is the deal. I was trying to get to this, and while we got Ian on the phone, because we've been asking this question, and it's related to what I believe Sean said earlier, and I said you had a great segue when you said, Mayor, people are saying give him more time, and it'll sooner or later happen, and they'll do better. I'm calling bullshit on that because we heard this rhetoric with President Obama after we swooped out and voted and got him in the first one, and we was patient. It's like, okay, it's coming any day, and then we reelected him, and it came and went. And so I happened to stumble up on some footage of DJ Envy, I believe, from the Breakfast Club interviewing President Obama, and asking him and telling him, and this is in the People's News Network. And he says, well, people are mad because a lot of black people say, what did you do for America? What did you do specifically? People say it was a blown opportunity. And Obama said, well, wasn't necessarily what I did for Black America. It's what I did for America. I mean, when I got out of office, I had freed more Black people from incarceration. The economy was up. Black people had more jobs than ever. Everything was on the upward swing. And I think, and I'm not really a DJ Envy fan, but I like he put a twist on it and said, well, yeah, we get what you did for the country, but what did you do specifically for Black people? And he was just kind of like politicking over it. And so it may be true when you look back and he said, first of all, I couldn't do anything. The Republicans wouldn't let me do anything. He said one of the biggest things that I did was 20 million people now have health care who didn't have it before I got there. So I can hang my hat on that. I have the receipts of what I've done, which is fine. What an accomplishment, brother. But once again, what did you do for Black people? So now I turn the tide on this to point it towards little buddy in City Hall, our little partner, Mayor Lil Dog. What have you done for us? I ain't talking, don't give me no spiel about this tax raise and how it's going to benefit Milwaukee for years and years to come. Shit, I got more time behind me than I do in front. I ain't got time to be waiting. This shit finally kicked in. I need you to do some shit yesterday, right? And so they floss and gloss over it. And all I'm asking Black people to do is say, all right, we see your bullshit and we raise you accountability, right? And if it's not there, if I ask you what have you done specifically for Black people? What legislation did you pass that you come up with and say this is directly aimed? And if you out there and you know, please hit me up and let me know. I love being corrected. But I'm saying if you're a person of color and you haven't done anything specifically for us with our name on the package, this is for Black people, then you need to be removed from office. I'm tired of you telling me I'm everybody's president. That's what Obama said when they were drawing pictures of you as monkeys. And I hope you don't think that whole Trump shit just came accidentally. That shit came after 8 years of white people talking about there's a nigger in the White House. Can you fucking believe it?
That's right.
That shit built up and festered until they went to crawling up the wall like white roaches, right? Byron Terry said, why do we allow this foolishness? Lock the culprits up and throw away the key like Waupon. Prison treats you low dogs, so don't like dogs, I think he said. So don't go there. Yeah, well, this little kid, this little terrorist that I seen, this little urban, they said this was a active shooter. And once again, I told the brothers in the beginning of the show, I'm standing on the track looking at dude shooting. I'm there for the whole thing. I didn't think I just survived an active shooter. So you think active shooter, you think, a little crazy white dude with an assault rifle spraying everywhere. Right. But this little bastard could have done the same thing. He was doing active shooter shit. So what do we do with these we got several questions we asking tonight. What do we do with who's in office?
Oh my goodness.
What do we do with little badass kids who won't sit the fuck down and do
I got
an
answer for all of them, bro. I got an answer for all of it. Fuck their ass up. Even the little dude in office. Fuck him up. Let's
I mean, what do you do
let's
to
just go
them?
down the line and slap the shit out of all of them.
That's only gonna
Whoop
make them
their
worse,
asses
Sean.
or
It's
lock them
only gonna
up.
make them worse.
Whoop their ass or lock them up. That
I
goes
brought
for
this to people's
that goes for
attention.
leadership too.
I mean, the thing you can do is you can lock people up when they do crime. You know what I mean? You can make crime a deterrent. You can actually do that.
Well, black
You
people don't
can
want
go
that.
ahead and you can actually.
Like, they don't want that
You're
because the
right. I
justice
mean, you
system.
ain't like you wrong.
Well, the only reason I'm saying that is
I know.
because black people, when you start telling them that,
You're
they
right
say, "But
though.
Kev, how many people are in jail convicted for some shit they ain't even do?" And like even my brother Dion says, y'all better be
That's a
careful
good point.
about telling them y'all want new laws and all this shit, because you fuck around and get caught up in a jam for some shit you voted for because you black, and they'll be able to put it on you. I still say there needs to be a more aggressive approach to what we do with criminals. I really do, whether they're young or old.
It has to be. It has to be, because if it's not and there's no consequences, and that shit starts in elementary school when they don't suspend kids no more. Because when I was younger, I used to think if I get suspended or I get moved out, my mom's gonna beat my motherfucking ass. So what did I do? I tried to do the right thing. Now when I got older, it was a little different. But now, like my ex-wife, she a teacher. She be telling me they don't even suspend these motherfuckers. I'm like, okay, so when they go through their whole life with no accountability, why the fuck do you think they don't care about stealing no Kia? Or they don't care about shooting at a fucking homecoming game? That shit is crazy to me, everything you're saying. But one other thing I wanted to add, because you made a very good point about Trump. I believe the most important thing that Trump did, like the thing he did that illuminates everything else, he made marginalized white people feel like they were part of something. Because if you listen to Fox Media or you listen to the Tucker Carlsons of the world, they constantly was talking about the replacement theory, and this is a new replacement, and these people are trying to replace you, because all they do is try to feed on your insecurities. So when Trump came along, it was like, yeah, fuck these niggers. We just had this nigger in the White House for 8 years. Yeah, even though he wasn't even trying to do shit for niggas in the hood. But like, we got this nigger in the White House. Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and bring somebody in here that's gonna bring some law and order to the world. And then you think about what Trump did. I mean, that's a whole nother show. But everything you're saying in regard to that specifically is right. And it's sad because it's like they don't get it in Milwaukee. Like, they're gonna lose the Brewers. I don't know if you've been talking about that lately or whatever. Last couple shows,
they've guaranteed them they've given them a $200 million deal.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
We talked about that
okay.
last week.
I was scared about that. Okay, I was scared because I'm like, dog, y'all can't lose the Brewers. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't lose.
White folks say finna lose the Brewers. That's all they got.
Hold on. I mean, they can lose.
Well, no, they were.
I mean, shit.
They were economically, they were going to lose them. But here's the tip, though, because we broke down last Wednesday how this money is divided up. What I didn't know was that the state actually owns American Family Field, and so 100 million comes from the state, and there's 100 million coming from the city. Okay, so and that's broke down in which they're asking smaller like entities, because 1% of all sales tax in Milwaukee is shared statewide. So people in like all these different suburbs are saying, why the fuck should any money from my pocket go to the Brewers? Well, because you get money off that tax revenue. So yeah, Milwaukee got a heavy, and it's all made possible because, once again, little buddy downtown said, look, we just did the revenue share. We just increased our revenue share so we can pay it. You just put us on the hook for so many millions of dollars. Right.
Did little buddy say that, or did Chris Abley say that? Did he have his hand up little buddy in the ass? So you sure it wasn't no public? It wasn't no public masses with their hands up. You know, David Crawley and damn it, I can't be saying names. What the fuck, son? Up these people's asses. You know, like, hey, no, you know what I mean, doing shit like that.
Well, yeah. Now that you say that, because one of the things that we did say was that we said the party, the private donors, and the campaign financiers and the lobbyists and the special interest groups are the ones that dictate the policy, really. And so we know Chris Abley had a very large voice. He gave the mayor $250,000, and he gave my brother DC $750,000. So maybe, Sean, there's validity to what you said. Maybe this is Chris Abley's hand up, little dogs, posterior. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Let,
I don't know.
let me share something else, right?
Allegedly.
I've been yeah, allegedly up their asses, and I've been smoking weed, so don't take nothing I say serious right now.
You say
You a fool,
they
bro.
call the mayor. They call the mayor a homosexual on this. The nigga
I love
said
this nigga, bro.
he was sodomized by Chris Abele.
Nigga said I was smoking weed, yo.
Right, blame it on the weed and shit.
I mean, I'm not in my right
Shit,
mind, so
nigga.
you can't hold this shit. And I'm an outlaw. I mean, what the fuck?
Jesse says they had the House and the Senate in his first term. That is just typical Democratic stalling tactics and talking points. BT said, I didn't harm black people. You know who was involved in last night's shooting? I do not know. I mean, there's so many shootings. Like, I share some of them and then I keep it moving. Mama Jenkins, she said, vote them punks out and get them disobedient kids a book and make them little motherfuckers read in their jail cells. Right? He said, Byron Terry said, trailer trash recognize their white privilege. So that's an echo of Ian's sentiment that marginalized white people. Well, the proof is in the pudding, and I keep telling people all the time. By the time Trump's 4 years was up, his policy didn't mean shit to me. I was fed up to my ears and my nose with even seeing his face or hearing his voice, because I knew that what he was doing was trying to polarize racist white people to make, and you've seen them acting more and more Brody. That's where the rise of the Karens and all this shit comes from. There was
why
audacity.
I appreciate Trump. That's why I
dididn't appreciate the white supremacists.
He gave them the courage. He gave them the courage to come from behind that wall where they be throwing the little nigga rocks, right? And they say, okay, I'm gonna set this nigga boulder in front of you so that you know what the fuck and who the fuck I am. And ain't nothing you niggas can do about it.
Well, that's fine and dandy when you're talking about a few pissed off rednecks, but I'm talking about this attitude extends to corporate America, to financiers. To financiers, to people who control money and gatekeepers. So that then puts a limit on black people's ability to move forward, because now they can do it like you said. I ain't even gotta hide no more. I didn't hide your ass because you're black, nigga. What do you want to do? Call security on you, nigga.
I was also
when it gets to that point, see, I ain't offended by no redneck talking about I don't like niggers. I don't like you either, motherfucker. I get offended when I can't take advantage of an opportunity because of some institutionalized policy that's being upheld by some white person who's
see? Here we go.
I mean, we can say nigga, and we can say
already
nigga, we
racist,
can say
bro.
hunky. Some hunky, right? Because really,
bro, that's so fucking funny.
And I want white people to know this. If you're a racist white person, you are a hunky. But they're not. But I'm saying, so when I say hunky, I'm being very specific. It only applies if you're a racist white person. So people say,
they don't apply to regular white people.
Then I say, well, I still don't know if you're a hunky, but I mean, okay, I get it. But I'm talking to the one who say, I don't like niggers. And I just say, I don't like honkies. So my sister Levita called them sun dodgers.
She be dodging,
She a fool, bro.
my sister
She
Brooke,
said sun dodgers.
She called them sun dodgers.
Hell no.
Jesse says, have y'all talked about bricks yet? If not, what are your thoughts on it?
A couple shows ago, I think.
Bricks, what was he referring to? I'm like, hold on. What the brick? BRIC. I thought he was talking about like work. I'm like, what?
I said bricks, right? That's to show you how inner city urban I am. I said bricks. My eyes lit up too. He said, Chime, what you smoking on? We didn't talk about bricks, I don't think.
That
DT
good
said, how
shit,
dare
boss.
you ask a question or question
What
me?
is that?
MAGA, make you niggers slaves again. Not me. I ain't going. She said they had billboards in southern states that said we hate niggers when Obama was in office. I mean, all kinds of tomfoolery and fugaziness was going down. Let me see. Said my sentiments exactly. And I'm just checking my chat room, y'all. BT said, how dare you? Tiasha said, call them clear people. She said, call them clear.
How dare you?
Jesse Paris, he said, I think a lot of our people went to sleep under Biden when they were awoken under Trump. You know what? it ain't. I don't think it was really about going to sleep under Biden. It hasn't been, because I think, and this is what I mean when I say being an informed voter, because I don't read the USA Today, I don't read the Wall Street Journal, but I don't have to, because the information about what they're doing and what's going on and how the system flows is it's out there. It's free now. It's not hidden. So I don't got to sit down and read every little trace, every little Republican senator or whatever. But I'm saying when it comes to black people, we have been conditioned to believe that if a black man thinks away from the go along and get along gang, if he say, nah, man, I rock with the Republican shit, I like some of the shit they do. If he says that, then we say that nigga's a sellout. That nigga right there is a coon. And but most of the brothers that you meet, who ride on that with that flag, since it's political gang banging, they speak, they've drank the Kool-Aid. I've talked to brothers on the conservative side, and they sounded like a white man had a remote control somewhere, remote controlling them. And I'm like, bro, I mean, for a lot of them, it seems like it almost makes them hate us. Like my uncle used to call them nigga haters.
Yeah.
So, you
oh my God, I literally was just got into the biggest debate. Dude, the thing is though, and Malcolm X talked about this too. They will always use somebody to spew racist, white supremacist points, so they can say, look, Candace Owens said it. She the biggest house nigga on the planet. And I don't think people understand what that means. She will spew shit from people like Charlie Kirk that was downplaying Juneteenth. Like I had a whole week and a half where I just was putting up all types of positive stuff about Juneteenth because people was chiming in like, well, Ian, it's not a real holiday and this and this and this. I celebrate Christmas. That's what this bitch was actually saying. I'm like, okay.
But
Juneteenth Day
you need to make that point too, that if you a black person and you don't like Juneteenth, you a honky too. I just want to put that in
what
there.
the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
What I was trying to get to.
Juneteenth, like I was talking to my fault.
Go ahead.
I had no. I thought. Who did you say go ahead to?
You go ahead. I just had to interject that, like for nigga haters.
I had like a little bit of dialogue with Ron Johnson, right? And he made a real good point. He said, black people are Americans, right? I was like, well, yeah, with some whatever. Yeah, whatever. Okay, I seen the point he was making, right? He said, instead of having Columbus Day, when that motherfucker didn't even discover America, he said, had Juneteenth should be a national holiday. I completely agree with that shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, we on the same page. And I don't agree with everything.
It is a national holiday, though.
No, he talking about when people have
like that,
government shutdown, like all that shit. He said like it's acknowledged by far as the government. You ain't got to go to work that day. And I said, I said that's I appreciated that. And he didn't say that during no election time. That was when I was at right before I moved. I was at somebody event, and I asked him about that because I heard he thought that way. I was like, okay, I appreciate it. That don't mean he loves niggas, but absolutely, I think that you do have people that he is people that make sense. Regardless. And that's why we got to be more involved in politics and economics. We're saying fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I'm at the point with white people, and this is what I tell them all the time. I'm at the point where you ain't got to say shit. Matter of fact, I don't want you making no promises. I don't want you making speeches. I want you to do something and then tell me what you did. I don't want to hear you talk. Listen, don't fake the funk, Hillary pulling hot sauce out her purse and shit and pandering to me like you think I want to hear, hey, Juneteenth, there should be a national holiday. It is. Well, then you should have the day off work. I am off work because I got PTO and I put in a request, so I'm off. Bill, you don't make me feel better by saying you should be off work today. Motherfucker, okay. I am off and I'm getting paid for it. So our power is in our hands. So I'm saying white people don't need to. That's where I fell out of line with liberals. That's why I really don't like really liberal, especially if they Democratic and they think, oh, poor nigger. Oh, you poor black boy. No, fuck up off me. I'm not your nigga. I don't need your help. This ain't Different Strokes and you ain't Mr. Drummond.
Racist motherfuckers.
Right. And it's that racist, and that shit is racist too when you can live and wallow in the squalor of your privilege, but then say, oh, you poor nigger. Like I've been in meetings, right, at work in meetings with white dudes who say, And you know,
Oh,
I just realized about 2 years ago that I've really benefited from white privilege. I mean, my family's very prominent.
really?
We've always had money. And I just realized, hey, there's people who don't have these things. So I'm trying
Oh
to straighten
shit!
out white privilege. I'm sitting there like, if you don't get the fuck up out of here with that bullshit. And I've even did this where
Exactly.
4 or 5 of them said that. And when I gave my introduction, I stood up and said, my name is Kevin. And in case y'all didn't notice, I'm black. And they, oh, he's so funny. I'm serious, motherfucker. What are you talking about? He's so funny. So I don't need white love. I don't need
Oh
white tears.
shit!
That's what pisses me off
No.
about this Republican attack on critical race theory. Did y'all see this bullshit ass commercial? They tried to slide that shit in during the Packer game yesterday. All right, y'all didn't see the
Oh, I
critical
didn't
race
see
theory.
it.
Yeah, about with the black boy and his mixed
yeah.
daughter.
Oh, you
Yeah.
need to talk about the census then. You need to segue to that shit. Oh my god!
But they also use this footage of a sister from MPS saying the Pledge of Allegiance, and this is in the People's News Network. Allegedly, they didn't even get her permission to do so because they started out
Oh,
with a brother telling his daughter, "You can be anything you want to be. It doesn't matter what your race is. Nobody cares. You can be who you're a person." And the
Fucking
little girl was like,
lie.
"Yes, daddy." He got dreads and everything. And then all of a sudden you hear his
Yeah.
voice say, they're teaching critical race theory in schools right now. You know who's behind the commercials? They're airing nationwide. They're airing during NFL football games. There's a
oh
conservative
shit!
law firm that's behind all these conservative commercials, and so they're supporting the party from there. So I like once again
They're
NFL.
black too, I think.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the
Yep,
firm is
they
black.
black.
Are they? Is the firm black?
Oh, there's one in Chicago. There's one in Chicago. Like Jay Weber, he put me up on it. He was quoting some of these dudes. They black conservatives and they attorneys, and they put out a certain amount of money to help politicians. They apparently they started to do a whole bunch of stuff. And I heard a rumor from one of my friends that Michael Jordan is part of one of those groups. That's what I heard.
Oh, not my
Yeah,
God.
that's what I've heard. Yeah, I heard he's not a Republican though.
Oh,
I just that's what I heard. That was the rumor that he's part of some of that shit.
Oh, Mike is no surprise. I mean, Mike has been.
No.
don't do that. Come on.
Yeah,
don't-
it is.
come on.
Nigga can hoop. He can
Mike
hoop
is,
good.
Come on,
I mean,
man.
the black people kill me with that because motherfucker had a jump
He can hoop.
shot. You don't want to tell the truth about
You
it.
know,
I don't give a fuck how many jumpers you hit.
First Trump, now Jordan. Man, this shit is really. Come on, man. I got to deal with hands up people's asses. Then we don't like Trump. Now Jordan,
You the
bro.
one who said that about the hands up the ass. Don't put that on nobody else. You said that. That was you.
Did I?
You try to blame it on us real good. See what I got to deal with.
That must have been
You said it.
moment. That must have been a moment of THC.
It's the weed again. It's the weed again. Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, you blame
Right,
everything.
you abusing
on
Capo.
weed
You
because
just
I
abusing
have
him.
no intent.
Y'all don't even understand. Capo is a thick-skinned soldier who shoots his own barbs and jabs as he sees fit. It ain't never
Of
even
course.
time. You'll never know when it's coming. Jesse says
Oh,
Candace
Capo own the
Owens.
business, doesn't he?
He said Candace Owens is a foreign Caribbean tether. That's that FBA stuff for tether Negro. Tether Negro. It's so funny when Tariq Nasheed started
Your
talking.
audience is hilarious. Your audience is the
That's
best
harsh,
ever.
bro.
Oh my
That's harsh.
god!
A tether
I
Negro.
heard
audience
this
is
in
harsh.
years. Tethered Negro. That's some good
He
shit.
said her ancestors weren't enslaved in the United States, so she doesn't share the same lineage as us FBA, DOAs, freedmen's, or the same experience. So of course she would say some dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
He said Sharon
Can I
Evans said
ask-
they cut Miss Harris from the video. So and this sister was the same sister that had gotten jumped on by MP. She's an MPS teacher. She had gotten jumped on by a parent and injured. So she having a real, and they put me in a Republican commercial. This is bullshit. Jesse Perry said they didn't just realize that they play dumb and think we're gonna play dumb with them. That's what I'm saying. I don't when I encounter liberals and they give me this thing about, especially it's so annoying for you as a white person to try to justify to me why I should accept you. I mean, my parents they marched with Dr. King and we've always stuck up. We had an African American nanny when I was growing up, and this lady was the salt of the earth. I'm telling you, oh Willie, who
Salt
used to
of the
cut
earth.
our grass, he was a great guy. And I'm sitting there looking at this motherfucker like, because I'm not gonna be like, well, you know, I always was cool with white people. Hell, Vanilla Ice, I bought his album. No, I don't justify that shit, so you don't need to do so. What's popping, Sean?
Yeah, so I just want to speak to Jesse for a second, because not only am I high, I'm a little older than everybody else. Some of these, initials and shit, I don't get. Like, FBA for me, fuck boy, already some shit, right? Fag, bitch ass, or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So, spell it out a little bit for me. Because sometimes I take them initials and I say shit that really don't, it don't go together. Like the FBA. First thing I with your fag bitch ass, right? That's what I'm thinking. But that's not what it was.
Listen, I just want to make a point. I've been saying foundational Black American FBA on this show for
I
like
know, bro, but I be
7 years.
smoking, bro. I be smoking.
Nah. For you to say you thought FBA stood for fag bitch ass, right? Like that's what you
No,
thought we were
we
saying
was
all this
talking about
time.
fag. We was talking about fag bitch ass niggas though, right? They had their hands up their
No,
asses.
no,
We talking about
no, no,
Trump.
no,
We talking
no,
about Jordan. We
no.
talking about fag bitch ass niggas.
Mm-mm. Can't let you
No,
get away with
I
that
can't
one.
get away with that one, huh?
You big
I
dummy.
tried.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry. I
tried.
had to.
I tried.
Well, you did. Goodness gracious. Yes, he does invest. MJ has stock in private prisons, but guess what? I asked a
Fuck
question
boy.
on this show. I asked some questions on this show one night. I asked everybody on the panel, would they invest? If they had money, would they invest in a private prison? And they
Man,
said yes. Black people.
I'd
I
be,
Hey,
said
I'm
yes.
hey,
man,
hold
man,
on.
get
Hey,
out my
Kev,
face.
Hey,
I'm
hold
not.
on, though.
Jeez.
We was talking about a jail here and right here in our community.
Mm.
The question was like, would you invest in it? You know what I mean? And I said, yeah, I'd invest in it. Shit, why not? Wouldn't I get some money off of it for generations
So
in my family? Hell, some of my family and generations later may wind up in that motherfucker still, but hell, they
look
can get
here.
paid off of it.
It's so
I'm with
bad.
Kamar. I'd have told my mama 35 years ago, invest in this motherfucker because I'm gonna get you some money. I'm
Yeah.
a fuck up.
I don't
Oh.
I think it's why in a lot of spaces we're all over the place. Because
Hey,
you get black people who say, fuck prison and we shouldn't
hey,
go to court because the justice system is slanted. Would you invest in the prison though? Hell yeah. I can make some money
hey.
off of it. Like that's two different people.
Hey, kid, I ain't
I
that
ain't.
cool.
Oh,
I
I
ain't
ain't.
that guy. You
I
know
can't.
what I'm
I can't
saying?
do that.
I'm saying it from a
We just
different
fucking with you, Ian.
perspective. I'm saying it from a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying like I would invest in it because everybody else get paid off of us. They gonna build that motherfucker regardless, and a whole bunch of other motherfuckers gonna get money off of it except us. So
Right.
I would appreciate it if my family can get some money off of this shit too. I mean, and I feel like all black people should be the same way. We should be willing to invest in anything we think that's gonna be profitable, and jails is profitable.
Okay.
I
I'm all
I
for
just want to see him
alternative
full of white
revenue
people.
streams. I'm not against that. I don't
I just
understand
want
why
to see him
this
full of white people.
I I I don't I don't understand why this misguided country bumpkin ass state, which is supposed to be so evolved. You talk about the University of Madison with the Wisconsin idea. We're gonna build a hub of technology and science, and we're not gonna be just regular farmers. We're gonna utilize the knowledge that we've gained from our education, and we're gonna innovate. Every state around us has legalized marijuana, right? And
yep.
and and I'm not
Mhm.
here to tell you that I know where all the money goes from everything. But in a city where you have a choice to say, or in a state where you have a choice to say, hey, we need to generate some money, we need some money, some tax revenue. Hey, let's come up with a new idea, a new economic plan. We got enough farmland to grow hemp and greenhouses. You have enough. If we legalize this and just reap the benefits of it, there will be a lot more in the kitty. I do understand that the state had this $7 billion surplus, right? And we know the state of Wisconsin, Madison has intercepted money that was thrown towards Milwaukee several times over the last 20 years.
Yep.
I know Skippy Walker was in office and Bad News Barrett was downtown. The housing crisis money came. Skippy said, "All right, you won't get this shit. Sit your ass down." And Mayor Barrett just took it on the chin. But you hear our mayor saying he want to repair our relationship with Madison. Madison, you owe us a fucking apology, if anything. Especially if you got a $7 billion surplus and you make us sign a tax increase that involve, well, you can't talk about no black people shit in school. That's basically what it said. I call it a slave clause. But we didn't even fight. We didn't even resist. Now he's saying in his budget speech, he said he understood that there were some things put into this tax bill that people didn't agree with, but they're going to deal with that through lawsuits. And I'm like, well, who's going to pay for the legal proceeds? Genius, the taxpayers. How long is it going to take? And if there is a settlement, who's going to get paid? See, he was one thing to say. He didn't say it. Little Buddy did. Little Dog said
it. Little Buddy mouth was just moving.
Okay.
Man.
Okay.
Man, that kind of shit pissed me off, bro. Like, especially in Florida with DeSantis. Like, we met him. We was covering Tim Michaels when he was running against Tony Evers. Dude, that motherfucker, he awkward as fuck, bro. He a weirdo. And I see why his ass is losing so much to Trump. But as far as in Florida, though, man, and I had been down there a few times last year or whatever, and I was talking to a couple of niggas I know down there, and they was basically, they liked him until he opened his, like with the whole quote unquote critical race theory thing, like the African American studies programs, all they had shit in there about Marcus Garvey, bro, and Malcolm X. And then he said, "Oh, I didn't know what was in it, but I agree with it." Like, he's a bitch ass dude, because when I was in school, and maybe you too, because I went to Philip, you know what I'm saying? We got the basic MPS education, you know, we didn't hear about a whole bunch of stuff, but my mother made us read. So I had to educate myself on a lot of that shit, dog.
You, myself, and Rail all went to Philip, right?
That's fucking crazy, nigga. That shit is so fucking. That's
we
so
all
crazy.
went to Philip.
Dude, is Philip still closed?
Yeah, it's
Philip still closed.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Dog, I was last time before I left, man. I used to go over there because my grandmama used to live on 15th in Capitol, so I used to be over there all the time. So I still would go to Philip, man, and just drive in front of it and just look at it, because that was a good school, man. Miss Stewart, Miss Bayless, I used to love that school.
How come everybody always named Miss Stewart as a good teacher? She couldn't stand my ass.
Name somebody.
Well, Miss Allen, man. Just why everybody got
no, bro. Miss Allen was dope too. I'm with you on that. But Miss Stewart used to give it. She used to give it to me rough, though, dog. Miss Stewart would give it to me rough. Like, I'd be trying to make excuses about not having homework. She used to tell me I was gonna be a dummy. She was like, if you don't do your work, if you don't go to school, you're gonna be a dummy.
She was
she used
old
to say
school,
that
man.
just
she used
like
to be
that.
On that bullshit with
I
me.
never forgot that, dog. I never forgot that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna have to take her down a couple times. She used to be on that bullshit with me. I used to be like, "You go ahead, Sean."
That's what I was wondering.
With these hand signals and shit. I
was
go ahead, bro.
I was wondering if she was a TILF.
Hey, wait.
You was wondering if what?
If she was a TILF.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. She was more of a 10, a teacher I had nightmares about because she was ugly.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? I shouldn't have said that because she's rest in peace to that sister. She's dead, and she.
One more thing.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. To me, let me rephrase that, because once again, I always respect the dead, and that's just to put a lot of time in educating people, serving kids. So I should not say that. That was bad for me to say, and that's one time that I said that was wrong. But I will say though. Now, I did have teachers at Philip that were teachers that I would look at and crush on. I was in love with Miss Jones. You couldn't tell me that wasn't going to be my girlfriend, okay?
I remember Miss Jones. She was cool too.
Right, but Miss Stewart, yeah, rode a Cadillac. You know, Miss Jones, fine, man. You get a hug every Friday. But Miss Stewart was not. When I looked at her, I said, oh, that's all I'm going to say as a little kid. I wasn't like, ooh, yeah. I was like, no.
And she was a black belt in karate.
Right. I mean, well, allegedly. We don't know that. Nobody ever even seen her do a kick. You can tell little kids anything. You know, I'm a black belt. Karate. Like, ooh.
Hey, see the reason I got off in the martial arts, though. See the reason why I started fighting. Because I was like, I always like, man, if she can do it, I can do it. I used to love this school. You know what I'm talking about, Kev? We're gonna have a conversation off air.
Y'all all love Rel loved Miss Neighbors, another one of my nemesis at Philip, but she just didn't appreciate the
Yeah, his neighbors was cool too.
Nah, she was not. Absolutely, she wasn't. When you went to your budget hearings began, ours have begun. They already started. He already gave his speech. The hearings, actual proceeds haven't gone yet. Nah, man. Listen, real talk, man. And my brother I have an older brother. My brother we are different. We're very different. So like teachers who had him tended to not like me and vice versa. So Miss Stewart was one of the ones that you ain't nothing like your brother. Like you look like him. But no, I used to just didn't. You got a smart mouth. You always trying to fight and all that shit. So it used to be different, But she was a good sister. She did what she should have done. She was stern with us, and we was all bad as hell. And so, them teachers had to keep it a buck. But we benefit from having black teachers in that school. Miss Jones, Miss Neighbors, Miss Stewart, all of them. Even Miss Moss, the TA who's there forever, right? Yeah. Everybody knew Miss Moss.
Oh yeah.
Ace went to middle school with me. God damn, I can't escape. He said, you was a class clown, cracking jokes in class and shit. I was known to.
I'm reading that right now.
I was known to have, to have a diatribe or two in class. I was, but that's a whole different story. I want to talk about this because I want to do some sports stuff just in the middle of the show, just to change up the pace. This is why I missed the Big Black Sports Show. Now, everybody was waiting. What white America was waiting on was Deion Sanders in Colorado to get beaten, right? And beaten they did get. But I said on the show, and I told many other people, Oregon was going to whoop that ass. And I said that because Deion is only in year one of what he's doing. People don't understand Oregon has been a top 10 football program for 30 or 40 years. Right? Millions and millions of dollars invested. Phil Knight, who is the founder of Nike, is alumni. They get they're an NFL factory. Those kids that play for Oregon in 3 years will be playing at Colorado. This is how it goes, right? The one thing I did, and so I said those kids went out there and did what they're supposed to do, but I felt a little heat coming off the end of that couch from their coach. All this shit about they want clicks, we won't win. They about the internet, and they about flash. I felt like, and you using a bunch of young black men to do it, right? I seen a white person that held up a sign at that game that said, "My coach has 10 toes." Just because Deion has had his toe
like, your mama gonna be 10 toes down, bitch. That's what I would have said. Yep, and your mama gonna be 10 toes down. So now,
I just. There's always a racist underlying thing to whatever we do. And that's why I always like talking about sports, because sports is one of the things that's, as they say, American is apple pie, but it's also very race based and very race tilted. Right. So Deion, they got whooped, but Deion took accountability and he said, because Deion wasn't surprised, but he said, what I heard him say was, see, they want to beat me. It ain't about the kids. They want to beat me. But he said, I done had a great career. I got a gold jacket. I got Super Bowl rings. I'm straight. You can't do nothing to me. But then the coach was just talking and yammering. And it seemed like he wanted to say, yeah, we beat that cocky nigger. Maybe I just heard that. My ears be like that. Maybe I just heard that. But I felt like it was very racist. This was some very racist shit. What did your article say?
Now, I wrote an article on Jay Norville, and this is Jay Norville from Madison. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with him, Kevin, the coach of Colorado State.
Right.
He jumped in for no apparent reason because the rest of them, and the reason I bring it up is because he's black, and I trolled him on Twitter. I said, brother, you got to do better. But see, when you want to be a house nigga, you are doing what these other motherfuckers are doing. What's the reason that they're going after Deion Sanders like that? There is no reason other than what you just said.
There's an economic reason they're going after Deion, because Deion is he's throwing a monkey wrench in their recruiting game. See, when he gets that program going full speed, and you got a majority of the black 5-star athletes going to play for him, a lot of schools are going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars because they will no longer have the talent. Those Those black kids will be coming to Colorado. They don't want to see that. They just like this nigga's
They're
gonna
not going to
fuck it up.
Colorado
Hey,
State.
here's another thing too to look at, man. You know, Deion's showing these young boys how to get some money right now, too.
Right.
So that's another reason why players gonna want to go to him. Deion's showing them how to get their own money right now. You know what I mean? That's what he's doing with social media. I feel like
Right.
that's the whole motive for social media. Otherwise, he wouldn't even need social media. He still, you know.
I think everything that we do in this country, and you look at it, it seems like white people picked it up and slid just a little racism in it. They put just enough racism in everything. And I like, even with the NFL, like I'm looking at you. You are letting players wear in racism. You got it written in your end zone. You know, but you allow this right wing law firm to place commercials that go against critical race theory during your game. You allowed that shit. You sold that airtime to them. And I know you vet your advertisers. So this is once again why, before we clap too loud, and I know we love, and I'm a football guy, right? I watch the Packer game, which I shouldn't, and I've admitted this before, but I don't watch any other NFL. I don't watch any other games. The NFL is still very much a very racist place. And I love football.
Yes, sir.
But I don't, and people
Yes,
say,
sir.
well, the Packers is racist. I'm like, tell me an NFL team that ain't racist. Like,
exactly.
Because it ain't no black owners. And Magic now is part owner of the, I say Washington Redskins, but I guess we can't say that.
Redskins, yeah.
Washington Commanders, right?
Motherfucking Redskins.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know why they just didn't name the team the Washington Pigskins. Wouldn't that just been a better name than Commanders?
Yeah,
Commanders,
that
it sound like,
Commanders sound crazy.
like a pair of draws or something. Like,
and it'd have been closer to the. It'd have been closer.
But kind of to take you back a little bit off of what you said, Kev. The problem, I stopped watching the NFL like when all that other shit was happening. Motherfuckers was mad about motherfuckers kneeling, and Colin Kaepernick, when he was kneeling as a sign of respect, but he wanted to bring attention to his issue. He got so much heat for that, so I don't even want to talk about that. But you made a very good point. You said that they are this 70% black athletes or whatever. You know, until like last time I checked, how many niggas do they have as executives? How many black people run teams?
Very few.
How many black people are on their marketing team? That's why right now, what's his face for the NFL Network, the media company, he's suing the NFL for not having enough black people covering the games. Apparently, it's a whole bunch of white people that are on for NFL Network that the NFL knows. Like, look that up. Right now, the NFL Network is getting sued by a dude that used to work for ESPN. It's a black brother. I forgot his name. But he's suing them right now for everything you just said. I stopped fucking with the NFL for a long time. I went back because the Packers got a black quarterback. I get heat online because I don't know. You probably didn't see it though, Kev. But I said I love seeing that we have so many black quarterbacks because I remember Jimmy the Greek saying that we didn't have the brain capacity to play that position when I was 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, we stupid. Jimmy the Greek was. He wasn't racist. He didn't even realize he was just dumb. He didn't even realize it. That's how comfortable he was.
If people didn't see this shit is the most classic shit ever because he actually gave a breakdown on how black dudes' booty and thighs were more thick and dense than white men, and that's why they were faster. Like this genius, he had a whole fucking diagram before PowerPoint, right?
Yes.
They fired these shit out of his ass. You don't get. First of all, he was a fucking gambler. When gambling wasn't even legal, he's a fucking mob-affiliated gambler. Why the fuck was he on TV anyway? Right, this shit was stupid, man. White folks have always made things about race. This is Ace Cooley. He said there was a guy that called in on Tariq Nasheed, and he said that we've taken over sports as players. If they lose coaching, they have nothing. Kamar, you're also right. The NIL is cool to allow these kids to make money off their names and likeness. Yes, it is. It's very cool. It's an innovation as well as the transfer portal. And that's the cool shit about the game.
You know, old school, my bad. But I was just gonna say old school coaching go against that. You know what I mean? It's about staying quiet, secluded, focused on what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
For the team.
And Deion breaking that whole mold.
For the team, right? But see, It used to be, Kamar, and you know this because you play football. You work hard, you get recruited by some legendary coach or some coach who's really highly statured. You get there, he might be the biggest dick you ever met in your life. Pause. Or asshole, I should say. I shouldn't say dick and asshole together. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. But he might be a straight racist prick.
Right.
He might be a racist prick. You get in his program, he controls your life and your future. He won't let you transfer. You'll be the most talented player on the team, and he'll sit you down and ruin your life. Now they got that transfer portal where you can say, "Nah, massa, I'm going to a different plantation. You've got to let me go."
Mm-hmm.
So they got to come up off you now. And that takes a lot of power out of their hands. So that's another thing where Deion is making them scared. They're like, dude, if this dude won 10 games, Alabama, Florida, Texas, A&M, Florida State, Miami, all of these programs, they'll all lose players. There'll be 30 players in the transfer portal next year going.
I feel like if he could at least go to a bowl game.
It's on. It's on.
Over. It ain't on. Right. It's over. Shit.
They go to a bowl game. It's on. Yeah. Next year, they national champion.
They might as well call the college football.
I give them 2 years.
Even if he don't go, Sean. Even if he don't go,
football league.
Even if he don't go to a bowl game, that game against Colorado State was the most streamed game in the history of football on television. You think five-star recruits, kids who want to go to the league ain't looking at that saying, shit, I know where I'm going next year, because imagine if I was there. Imagine if I was there, me and 6 or 7 of my guys was there. Oh shit. So they know, Deion got it's a monkey wrench. So yeah. Let me get my chat room because they popping off. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. You can also call in. It's Outlaw Radio live from the basement.
Don't be afraid.
Evan Barnes got the witch doctor with me, the capo of the streets, Free Sean Moore, my boy Fonzarelli, and I got Ian C. Jordan, the proprietor of what's your joint, Ian? News Undone.
News Undone, dude. You don't know nothing.
Byron Allen will be producing HBCU games. I see a lot of HBCU. I see a lot of HBCU games being televised. I don't have a soft spot for HBCUs. I really don't. I don't. I just because the Tuskegee experiment was conducted at Tuskegee. And there's
that's such a good point.
Well, there's a lot of that's such a good you talk about the black boule, and a lot of self-hating Negroes were in charge of these schools who were directly in bed with the other side, because the people who started a lot of these schools were white benefactors, in particular after the Great Depression and after slavery. You had a lot of white dudes who said, hey, rich white barons who said, get those niggers their school. And they didn't recruit me. So it's cool if you want to dance and play drums and shit and be Nick Cannon. And I went to HWCU. I went to historically white.
If you don't want your producer all in your video dancing and shit.
He was so nice. Oh my god, man! I on the videos dancing shit.
All right.
Everybody
always talk about HBCU. They say HBCU, yeah. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck about that. Like sororities and
that's because
like fraternities. I never did none of that shit either. Because like when I did go to schools where they was at, I'm like, dude, I'm from Capitol. I move one deep, so nobody else can tell on me. I'm never telling on myself.
Like especially these days, it's understandable why somebody could feel like that. You know what I mean? True. You look at what Deion and Ed Reed went through. Right. You know what I'm saying? How they had that on social media showing them. Ed Reed walked through live. The field was fucked up. It was some fucked up shit going on.
But they had a hurricane too, though, Kamar.
Yeah,
but
still.
No. You're right. Listen,
the shit should have been cleaned up at least. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You got a motherfucking NFL Hall of Famer coming to coach your motherfucking team, man. Straighten this shit up.
So many of those schools are mismanaged. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all. I ain't hating.
That's what Ed Reed said. Yep.
Morris Brown. What happened to Morris Brown? Look, Morris Brown Stadium is a weed garden now. Like, and I mean, like wild weeds. It ain't. And they
Right.
got their
But
accreditation
it
back.
should have and it should have never got to that
I thought
point.
this come out. I thought
No,
this come out
no,
like
Exactly.
it's
weed.
they lost their accreditation and basically went out of business. They were mismanaged. They have come back. They have reopened. I don't think they're at the point where they'll have like sports teams. But I've sat under the hip hop doctor. I forget his name. He's a very very prominent black chancellor of black colleges, and he's resurrected several of them. When I was studying for my PhD, I heard him speak at Stritch. He came to our summer institute, and he talked about the fact that a lot of those schools are financially mismanaged, and so students live in some crazy conditions. You look at Howard; they was forced to sleep outside in tents. Samuel L. Jackson is famous for his movies, but his initial fame came from him taking Martin Luther King's father and his friends hostage, him and his friends, because they were going to a black college. Was it where was it? Was it Jackson State? And they took them hostage and held them for some days, and they got kicked out of school because of the conditions that they was forced to live in. So these schools have been mismanaged. I've heard nightmare stories. People say, I went to this black school, and the first thing I noticed, they had big ass roaches in the dorm. I never seen a roach in a dorm. Never seen that. But it'd be too cold in goddamn Minnesota too. Roaches be like, I'm getting the fuck up out of here. I'm going to Southern. Um, Mama Jenkins said, I thought that was so disrespectful, and his ass needed a good black ass whooping. He told those white boys to transfer out. Yes, he will get his respect because he didn't take no shit from the front office. He knows the game and the prejudice that comes with the game. Who needed ass whooping? Mama Jenkins? Dion?
I didn't do it, mama. That wasn't me, mama.
Let me catch it. Let me catch it. Oh, the chat room's popping, man. Yeah, they making fun of me. I guess I went shit. I get emotional with that shit. I get emotional with that shit because it was a very critical time in my life. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I wanted to go to Hampton. Hampton treated me like I was just we ain't gonna talk about it.
You need a virtual hug or something? Shit.
No, I got a woman upstairs. If I need a hug, I don't have to do virtual. I just go, hey, but I'm feeling a certain way. You know, they said they hate the fact that Dion can relate to the youth. Mike Kimmons said next year, he said, shout out to Big Mike. He said next year it's a wrap. The portal for Colorado will be dumb. It will be absolutely insane, Mike. HBCU culture is awesome. CSU alumni. That's what's up. If you one of the people who was able to take advantage of that at Central State, I'm assuming there was a place where I wanted to go once upon a time.
Be about it.
Is that one of the only? That's one of the only black colleges in the North. But I didn't go there, and I heard from what I heard, pretty rough down there in Wilberforce. BT said it's a known behavior. If you're not part of the gang, you wouldn't know. I get it though. He said, Kev, we didn't have exposure like that to other schools back when we were in high school. No, because we was going to school during the crack era. And so black men wasn't even supposed to live past 19 years. So at that point, they was like, shit.
No,
Barry Alvarez came out and shitted on every brother who played football in America. I remember that my senior year. To this day, that's why I'm so happy when Madison loses a game. I be like, God damn, I'm happy. It makes me feel good when the Badgers lose. Mike says the NIL money and exposure under Dion will have players running to dive through the portal and recruiting will be ignorant. Oh my goodness, man. It's already in effect. And that's why they see the change coming. He said, how many college scouts came to the city of Milwaukee? I can say I had a fair share of scouts to come and see me and that I sat down and talked with coaches and stuff like that. I did. Mine was more of an academic issue in which, the capital in me wouldn't let me go to class. I don't know what it was. It wouldn't let me go to class. So, but I was fortunate enough to have visits and coaches. But once my grades was just like, oh shit, don't go over there. I had to make a different decision. He said, if you haven't attended a college or a black college, you wouldn't know. Well, I went to a white one, so I know about that. I don't know about
you wouldn't know.
I went to Eastern Illinois with a bunch of black people with black frats and black sororities. So I do have some points of reference. I got a lot of homies who went to HBCUs. I mean, I wasn't there. I didn't get to dance and strut on the yard with Nick Cannon. Shabaka said, greetings. How you doing from Shabaka's experience, black experience enhanced in Vegas? Dion didn't come from no HBCU. Dion went to Florida State. That is not a HBCU. That is the house that Bobby Bowden built. And Bobby Bowden was as redneck as redneck can get. Jim Trotter is the brother
I'm
from
so
home.
jealous of y'all.
Said Jim Trotter is the brother name who's suing the NFL Network for racial discrimination. Jim Trotter.
Thank you,
Okay, that's Shane
Jim
Cool.
Trotter. That's right.
Shout out to the Outlaw
Hey, I
family.
went to the University of Meineke.
Oh shit, they got a high graduation rate. Don't feel bad. Sean went to the University of Waupun, so y'all y'all both state alumni.
Shut the fuck up. That's too funny.
Sean
Oh, that's
got one of them.
crazy. That's
What's
hilarious.
dude name? I'm locked up. He spoke at the graduation. Akon.
Akon was at the graduation.
Oh man.
Oh
Look,
man.
here's some other shit in sports too. I feel like we being set up for the okie doke by young Giannis Antetokounmpo. What's up with Giannis?
Oh, you had to bring that up. Why you bring that shit up?
Nah, man. This is Outlaw Radio. We talk about foundational black issues.
Please don't talk about that. I don't want him to be.
Man, listen, man. Listen. The purpose has already been served. I can at least say I saw us win an NBA title during my lifetime. Yep. If he want to go, he can kick rocks. Listen, this is the nature of the game. But my thing is, after all of this, now he's saying he want to make sure everybody on the same page. See, I hate when a motherfucker try to act like I need to convince him to sign a $200 million contract. I got to talk you into this shit. This that that Aaron Rodgers shit. I don't know, man. They only gonna pay me $75 million next year. I might not come back. You know what? Get the fuck on. Go to Greek, go to Nigeria, where the fuck you from? Because I think Shannon Sharp said, well, you talk about them building a winning team when your brothers is on it. Why they keep signing his brothers? Somebody, listen, I know he need company on the road, but dude, the nigga got to be on the team. No, why do you keep?
Look, man. I got a buddy. The dude I converse with, I ain't gonna say he's my friend, but he's cool. His name's Bart Winkler or whatever. He be in 1250 fan. And I got a friend. She has a boyfriend that works for the Bucks. That nigga told me 3 years ago that nigga was gonna leave. No bullshit. He told me. I put that on Facebook. I gotta find the post. I'll repost it. Motherfuckers like, you crazy? You for this before they won the championship. His girl apparently got family in LA on the West Coast or wherever. I think her sister lived out there, and that's why he was. And that we were just having a conversation about that shit. And I was like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, dude." He was like, "No, if the Bucks ain't about winning." They said, "Dude, gonna be out." That's when they made them trades and shit. The thing is, though, with the contract that they got, maybe y'all can educate me on something. But as far as what I know about economics, it don't seem like they're gonna be able to do it. Like, how are they gonna be able to get the players that he need in? They contractually, I don't know if they can do it.
They're gonna have to trade and maneuver, and his brothers don't help the case. Ace Cooley said that he said they're athletic. Hey, you athletic on the bench. Them dudes don't contribute nothing. Them motherfuckers come on, man. Like, what? They're just there because they Giannis, his brother celebrates on the sideline with him. I mean, so okay, I stand corrected. He says that Dion played for Florida State, but he graduated from HBCU. Okay, go ahead, Kamar.
No, I still feel like he just talking that superstar talk, man. All superstars talk that talk when it's time for a contract. You know, I want to see where the team gonna go. If they gonna look like they winning, to see what they do before I sign my contract. You know what I mean? I just feel like that's just some rhetoric that they run, man. Maybe he leave, maybe he don't. If he do, he do. If he don't, he don't.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, listen. I like Giannis as a player. It's been great to see him in his development. Is a great story. But at this point, I think just we as citizens, like, we don't need to be kissing nobody's ass, bro. Like your whole trajectory of your family's future has been changed. A lot of that money comes from people from this city who don't really have it, that come down there and pay $20 for a fucking beer and $13 for a hot dog, and buy your shoes and all this shit and your jerseys. And then I feel like you thumbing your nose at me if you say, I feel like the best thing would have been to say, you know what? I'm going to make sure, because this is going to be my home. I'm going to make sure they do what needs to be done. I do also, like, this is the same Kareem Abdul-Jabbar shit that he kind of did. Like, he was here, and then, of course, Kareem had some issues with, some people losing their lives at a property that he owned, and Philadelphia, in which the black mafia was involved, and people got like, oh shit. I just thought with all the radical Islam and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and all this stuff, it's ironic that he moves to California and marries a white woman. And then nothing against nobody who got a white woman. Nothing against that. I'm just saying, Kareem, I see you. I see you.
Hey, I think Giannis' comments was directed more towards the management than the fans.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they is.
Big business. It's over my head. You're right.
I think I ain't say it may not be over your head, but you know what I mean. I just think it's more strategic.
Oh, no, it is. No, it is. Kamar, you're right. You're right.
I think it may be more strategic. That's all.
And that's a conversation that I'm not privy to because he's going to have to go into negotiations after next summer and renegotiate his contract. So you're right. It may be that, but when you start complaining about shit, they got your brothers on the team. I need for you to shut up.
Well, hopefully that puts some fire under the team to where it's like they do whatever they got to do to get who we need to win. Let's just hope for that for now. Hopefully. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, like shit, I hate to worry about something until it happens. And then it don't happen.
Are you worried? I'm not really.
I ain't saying you worried, but this is how fans do when they worrying about Giannis Antetokounmpo and what he gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried. I'm talking about in me. Like I hate to worry until something happens because it may not even happen. So you didn't have all this stress in your life up until then.
Hell yeah, I'm worried. I'm scared as a bitch.
Don't worry about that shit, man.
That nigga gonna leave, dog. Feel like my pop's finna leave again.
Oh shit!
Damn, sad as a bitch.
You must really love basketball because that shit is not on my radar like that. BT
I'm
said,
over here with a bottle of Jack Daniels and an attitude problem. No, I'm just
playing. He said, Talladega on paper is a HBCU. I said what I said. I don't think nobody's disagreeing with you. Sharon Evans said, I heard he was going to the Lakers a few years ago, too.
Oh, God.
Fuck
Jesse
Giannis.
Pierce said, I went to college at Metro State University in Denver, Colorado. Byron Terry said somebody need diapers. Who need diapers? Sean at Potawatomi. She said, Sean, you at Potto. Sharon Evans said you at Potto.
Tell Sharon to stay out my business. Tell Sharon to stop snitching. That's
all that revolutionary shit.
We don't do no snitching.
All that revolutionary shit.
Kev.
What's happening?
I wanted to add one thing, man. I was gonna say, speaking of on a serious note, man, rest in peace to the Denver Broncos defense. Apparently, them niggas gave us 70 points yesterday.
That shit was ridiculous.
What the fuck?
Uh-oh.
What the fuck?
You gonna piss Jesse off. That's his town. But I want to hold on before we get to that. I want to bust Sean ass out talking all that shit for the people down there finna get them engines his money. Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out.
Before you do that, bro. Before you do that, I don't come down here to gamble. I come down here to rest only. So yeah, that don't happen, boss. And you know, I am an Indian. I'm not giving them motherfuckers.
I thought you was a lesbian.
I can be a lesbian Indian.
Oh my God, this dude is an Indian lesbian from Capital. Like, this shit get thicker and thicker, right?
I'm giving her the D. Hey KB, I'm a lesbian Indian giver because I give her the D, then I take it back.
That was way too much information for me, but shout out to you. Shout out to you. You know, sometimes brothers just overshare, and you just got to be willing to back up. Like
you know what? Hey, you was questioning my questioning.
I question you being at Potawatomi finna spend that money down there with them.
I'm not spending no money down here, bro.
Talking about black economic power.
No,
you went down there and slid them Navajos some money. There you go.
The only thing I do is play poker, and they don't have poker tables.
Wait, I thought you didn't go to gamble. Now you didn't came back.
Bro,
and said
they don't have poker. They don't have poker tables down here.
They got blackjack. You're gonna be at that table.
I don't play no blackjack.
You will. You'll learn tonight.
Not tonight or tomorrow.
A says at the end of the day, other than Jordan and LeBron, what player ever came before the business of the team? Well, that don't happen. And you know, it's like like Chris Rock said. He said, you know, Shaq is rich. The dude who signed Shaq contract is wealthy. So he's here go buy some more cars with some spinning rims. Say Giannis isn't married. He's going the ninja route. I hate to see him hit with the child support when he act up. I thought he was married.
No, he ain't married. He's smart.
Oh, he's engaged now with the. Is she a DeBarge? I don't know. What is she?
Not smart.
Okay. Speaking of Potawatomi, watch out when crossing the street. BT said, "Be careful down there, Sean. Don't get hit by no
Bro,
Karen."
I don't even. I'm not crossing the street. I came out here to the parking garage to smoke my weed. Can y'all leave me alone?
Okay. Well, we just know where you at.
I'll never get married again.
Now hold on. I got something else. Now this shout out. I wish I could give my brother Rick Muhammad on here, because Rick Muhammad has been telling me for weeks that Michelle Obama is a guy. Rick Muhammad swears Michelle Obama is a guy.
Man,
And
tell Ricky
today
Freeze that shit.
I found a picture and I put it in the People's News Network of Michelle Obama when she was pregnant. Because everybody's saying that she's not a guy. Why you've never seen pictures of her when she was pregnant? So I hope this satisfies everybody's bloodlust to make Michelle Michael. I don't know why this. I shout out to my brother Rick Muhammad. Ram swears.
No, we not giving him no shout out. We not giving him no shout out. No, he don't get no shout out for that shit, because he sound like one of these stupid ass niggas that's bashing another sister for what reason?
Well, I was shouting him out because he's my partner. I don't know.
Man, he my partner too, but that's bullshit.
Well, then that means I would never shout you out.
Bullshit.
You at Potawatomi right now.
You ain't gotta shout me out. You ain't gotta shout me out. Shit.
No more.
I hold myself accountable. Right. That was some bullshit that he said.
You sure didn't say live from Potawatomi until Sharon Evans said you was at Potawatomi. You sure?
Hey, tell Sharon Evans. Tell me, I'll be to see you, Sharon, because you in my business.
Stop it, Sean. Stop it. Hold on.
I feel where he's coming from.
I don't.
I feel where he's coming from.
Shout out to Ram, man. Ram is my partner. Jesse said, yeah, I'm just as surprised as you, caller. I watched the whole thing in disbelief. Couldn't believe it myself. And Vance Joseph is our defensive coordinator and our former head coach we fired. Man, Denver, come on, y'all. At least y'all ain't Chicago. He said, Sean.
It's embarrassing.
He said that's bullshit. Listen, if you looking through the People's News Network, which is my sister group, I also found a clip of Muhammad Ali he was being interviewed a long time. I believe it was 1965. And he broke down this whole thing about why he feels like he is a black man. And he's being interviewed by this, I guess this dude was English, this white dude. And he breaks down, why Elijah Muhammad called them devils and what the Nation of Islam was teaching black people in terms of self-empowerment and esteem. But the way he explained black, the term black kind of mirrored mine in saying, he said it. I had never heard this before. He said, if you German, you from Germany. If you Chinese, you from China. If you're Japanese, you from Japan. If you from America, you black. So it went with what I say about why I call myself black. I like it when something make me seem like I'm right. So y'all can go check that out. Oh, it's so much stuff going on, man. Shout out to Byron Terry. He says, if your woman been seen in public with a bonnet, pajamas, or house shoes, fuck off. Damn. That's kind of harsh, ain't it, B?
Your chat room be cracking, bro. I'm sorry. Your chat be lit as fuck. Oh my God.
This is an easy night. It ain't no fighting, no feud.
Right. Everybody getting along.
No. I remember I was watching this a few weeks ago when y'all got into it about the Vaughn. What's his name? Vaughn name?
Oh yeah.
The brother.
Oh man. That was a hot.
That shit was so disrespectful. Like motherfuckers was coming out. I'm like, damn. Especially him and the one sister, whatever her name is.
And
she wasn't letting them talk.
Shout out to Juice Lady. Shout out to Juice Lady.
She wasn't letting them talk a little bit, but
she was in DC. She was in DC for some conference. I see she put up. It was a Black Caucus. Well, what was it? It was like
nice.
It was a Black Caucus convention.
I think it was Black Caucus convention, some shit like that.
Yeah, I like her. She cool.
I seen her in the lecture by M1 for Dead Presidents, and then what's the lawyer Benjamin Crump. So it looks like it was a good gathering for the Negroes in Chocolate City. Let me see. Shout out to my sister Ma'at El Bay Booker. Did I say it right, Kamar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About time.
Nice.
That's that King education.
I'm on the People's Network right now. This People's Network is dope. People News Network. I just went to the page, man.
Oh
This
yeah.
is a
Oh
dope
yeah.
page. I just joined. I love this.
That's
Oh my
our
goodness.
that's our black CNN, and it just became that people once because these platforms have exploded. Like I know in Milwaukee right now, everybody's podcasting.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's I got a show coming. Hey, I got a. And it's funny. I listen.
Yeah.
I don't have anything against anybody's platform. It's all good. Congratulations, and I hope you do well. But this is Outlaw Radio. That's all I'm gonna say about that. He said Seinfeld. Yes, that is Seinfeld's music. We play Chicago next week, ironically enough. Well, y'all get a week off. Um, my sister Booker said the black CNN. Yeah, it's just because it was very serious at first. The group was because I didn't want no joking, but I got to the point we could put a little humor in there, and we still don't really do fight videos in there. If I see something really sensational or too niggerish, I'll take it out because I wanted it to be a place where black news was shared, pertinent to foundational black Americans, as well as a place where now you can see everybody's platform. So if you want to say, I'm gonna see which one I like best, and you go to the People's News Network, you can watch a bunch of different platforms, and I'm pretty sure Outlaw Radio will still be at the top of your list. I know this for a fact.
Absolutely.
So go and check everybody out, man. You know, because you can learn something from everybody. That's one thing I do agree with. You can learn something from everybody. What else we got? What else we got? Kamar, what you got coming up this week? Because this is actually Wednesday.
Is it?
No, it's Monday. I fucked that up. What you got coming up this week?
Man, shit, y'all was almost fucked up, dog.
He said no.
I'm thinking payday. I think I'm gonna get paid in 2 days now. This nigga done got me all the way fucked up.
Right, that's why I think mine's is off because last Friday was my day. So I'm saying this got to be at least Wednesday. No, it's Monday. It's live from the basement.
No,
bad, I got people finna hang up like I done missed my god. They gonna turn my lights off. What you got? What you got popping this week, Kamar?
Well, I'll be up at the House of Vitality all week. Then I got the Fondy Market Saturday morning.
Okay. Well, I know me and you, we just be humping it out on the plantation all week. We don't be at no vendors or nothing. We just punching the clock, right?
Hey, I'm working from home this week. So
okay.
Good with that one.
Okay.
Oh, I hate.
Sean, what you got coming up this week besides you vacationing in at Potawatomi and whatnot?
You know, man, I'm gonna do what I do, man. I'm still trying to organize some stuff and get some stuff right, man. Start some shit, some good shit, good trouble, getting some people business, try to hold some motherfuckers accountable. Okay. Just do what I do. Talk some shit, get in some shit.
Pressure. Ian, I know you have a lot going on. I've been trying to get you on the show as opposed to just a phone call.
Oh, that definitely can happen. Definitely,
yeah, we got to do that
brother, whenever.
Now tell the people about your network and when your shows are on and whatnot.
Man, as far as in regard to newsundone.com, we publish articles. We don't do it like normal news. It's basically the writers just how they feel that they want to talk about something. You know what I mean? And then go ahead and post. That invite is for everybody. Go to newsundone.com. You can email me at newsundonetv@gmail.com. That's where I receive everything for submissions. But basically, what I'm doing right now, man, is my one of my business partners for another company. He has a fight in March. So right now, I'm training up or whatever because I'm gonna work with him before his fight or whatever. And you know, I'm in Tucson now and just pretty much creating content. I got 3 articles that I'm working on this week. But now there was one brother that we didn't address. He talked about the whole BRICS thing. And he asked how we felt about that. I think that's very interesting, but I got to get more versed on it because I didn't even know what he was talking about. I'm on my computer right now. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea what the brother was talking about. I'm like, see, you got a real educated audience because I ain't never heard of that shit.
Well, you look like you know what's up with that.
Yeah, I do.
What's the business on that? What's the business on that?
BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China,
yeah,
and one other place to start with S. That's why it's BRICS. But basically, they coming together and dropping the U.S. dollar. Yep. So you know that's why I've been fucking with Bitcoin for a minute. You know, because Bitcoin is the same price worldwide, no matter what the fucking dollar do type
Right.
shit. So, I've just been watching my Bitcoin to see if this increases its value as people start getting worried about the American dollar that's been fucked up since Nixon and shit.
Okay.
But
I'm
they
glad
dropping
you put us
the
up.
US dollar basically. So
I'm glad you put us up on that.
they saying we not too far from being a third world country because motherfuckers is buying oil and shit with gold and not fucking with America.
Okay.
Mm.
And I'm absolutely positively sure that America will have a counter plan to this. But we'll see. We'll watch how this plays out. And grass ain't always greener on the other side.
They say the
Um,
US still sitting on gold.
right. Yeah, a whole hell of a lot
That's
of
what
it.
I was thinking. That's
Yeah.
that's that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Called the Federal Reserve, Fort Knox.
A
Right.
lot of them.
Sharon
A
Evans said,
lot
I
of
gotta
money.
get to the House of Vitality. Y'all go support Kamar at the Sherman Phoenix with the House of Vitality, man. This brother grinds, and then grinds again.
And stop
RB on
snitching.
shot cam all over I say, boy, this brother gets around like Tupac, man. Remember Tommy Davidson did that in Living Color when he said, I get around. I get around.
I
That's
just
Kamar.
posted that. That's
That's
hilarious.
Kamar, right? I get around. Still riding the underground. But listen, man, it is time. It's time to issue the challenge. Like I said, everything for us is we talk about a lot of situations and we talk about a lot of problems always. But we try to be solution based. And right now, I think it is time for a challenge. And I think this is something we should do nationally. We should challenge ourselves to approach this election cycle differently than we have in prior years. I really think this is the time, and I would just challenge people to just be more aware of local politics because once you get on that, then it will extend itself to the big major leagues, right? And so, but local politics has so much impact on your day-to-day life. Everything from you drive down the street and you get mad because the streets are tore up, and you say, "Why the fuck streets like this?
They
The
done
garbage
fucked up.
ain't picked up on time. The crime is out of control. There's no real investment in the infrastructure in the black community because they are waiting. They're allowing it to deteriorate so that they can gentrify. You got to understand the way this game is being played. And so when you start talking about politics, you start talking about the people who are in those offices who at one point or another ask us to vote for them, right? And I've always had this thing where if you're gonna ask me for something, then I got the right to check and see what you did with it when I gave it to you or what you want it for, right? And so I think it's time to challenge ourselves. And I'm not saying vote Republican because I'm not going to endorse them. I'm saying vote for the individual, not the party, but the individual that has your best interest at heart. And as a black person in the black community, if you look around, you would usually see that there's not an individual there who has your best interests at heart. That means we need to reinvest in creating our own leaders. But that also causes for some investment in our youth so that we can start raising individuals up in this game, right? It's a long process, but you got to get it started somewhere. So I just challenge black people. I just challenge foundational black Americans because I'm not taking advantage of this to move back to Zimbabwe. I'm cool. I'm from Capital. I don't want to move back to Mozambique. I'm cool. I'm a foundational black American. We are the only true Americans because we are the only cultural racial group that was made directly by this country. Everybody else over here is an immigrant. So when white people say, go back to your own country, I say, no, you go back to yours, motherfucker. I thought you said you was German. That means go to fuck back to Germany. French, that means go to fuck back to France. If you tell me go back to my country, I'll say, well, I guess we moving back to Mississippi because that's where my family is from, right? And you say, no, Kevin, your lineage is way where I'm at right now. That's where we from. I'm a foundational black American, and I should be the recipient of reparations. And if you can't trace your lineage back to that chattel slavery down south, and you ain't been affected by it, then your ass shouldn't get none. We came here from the island in the 50s. Sorry, you're not a foundational black American. You are a tether Negro, as Tariq Nasheed calls them, right? And so I want to thank y'all for being on. Shout out to ENC Jordan. Shout out to the capo of the streets, being what he is, the capo of the streets. Shout out to Kamar, the witch doctor, and the neighborhood hippie, my brother Rel. Real, I got to get some more wine from you, man. Say MJG said shit to make a bullshit day feel dandy. Other than that, man, hold on to your own, man. Keep your head on the swivel. I was involved in an active shooter situation by standing on the field, just trying to watch my son play his homecoming game at Milwaukee Lutheran. And thank God I'm still here. And so keep your head on the swivel, man. Take care of your own. And don't be worried about people who don't want to be a part of the solution. Don't be worried about habitual line steppers. Don't be worried about people who rather fuck off than be accountable, because we know those people are usually the types whose criticism of the community outweighs their contribution. Therefore, that leaves them in a situation where they are just coons and not worth our time. Peace and love, man. I'll see y'all Wednesday night. We're going to be back stronger and longer, right? Pause.
Listen, the only way this thing will be official is if the people choose it. So that means share the show.